This is the Big O Show. 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 This
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4, like a 2024 Corolla LE, $19,975. Need credit? If you earn at least $500 a week, we want to say you're approved at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
There's just one place to get our biggest discount on a 2024 Acura. Take up to $10,000 off. $10,000 off at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 Acura dealer in the USA.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rheaume. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rheaume can help.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. Good morning, one and all. Welcome aboard to the program. All right, let's have some fun. Sean Stanley, of course, mastering the show. And today's Cutdown Day. Dolphins have already released Robert Cooper, Mike Harley, Isaiah Mack. So we'll see who else is going to get released. We'll see who else is going to get traded, because I would imagine they're also working on a trade or two if they can, obviously. if they're trying to acquire something that they would like, or they're trying to unload excess. But teams are going to want that certain player, and so maybe there's a little bit of a battle, and so they can pick up a 7th-round pick or maybe even a 6th-round pick from somebody. That would be crazy, but something along those lines. And then again, former failed picks around the league also either get cut or traded today too. So we'll see. We'll see what happens as Miami gets down to 53. We'll keep you updated on everything else as it goes on. And Sean helped me out, of course. Sean will help me out, I'm sure, with the cuts and try to keep up with it, as I'm sure a blitz of cuts will start coming up in the next 2 hours, I would imagine, because you're going to see a lot of the ones that they know they got to cut, and then it'll get down to a couple guys that they got to decide what to do, who to place on a pup list, and all that kind of stuff, and try to stash as many people as you can, as you all know, because, every team is going to try to stash a player or two if they can and try to hang on to them. So we will keep you updated with all of that. Tua had a press conference yesterday. I want to go over a couple of things that he talked about in the press conference. Also, David Furones will join us at 10:30, so we'll get his thoughts on the 53 and what's going to happen. Manny Navaro will stop by at 11. By the way, tomorrow we're going to be at Caneswear broadcasting live. So come on out and join us. Looking forward to it. So if you're out in the Davie area or working or whatever, just come on by. And remember, you could use our code BIG010 so you can get 10% off if you purchase anything in the store. Wow, NorCal is #1 on the chat board. How about that, dude? I don't think I've ever seen NorCal #1 on the chat board. Oscar Rojas is there in Melbourne. Jamie Zoria in San Jose, reminding everybody to smash it, smash it, smash it. Let's go. Cosa Nostra. Thank you, sir. You received your merch. There you go. We're working on it. We're working on it. And so we'll get you your merch. Don't worry about it. You'll get your merch. And I know I've had a couple of delays and all that kind of stuff, but eventually you get your merch, and sometimes you get a little gift there too on top of all of that. Captain Saki, Steve Chapman, Manolo Rivera. Thank you, sir. You're looking forward to another deep disco reference. Well, let's see if, one can come along. Well, we will see if we have some souvenirs for you. Okay. What else do we have? Ray Sosa. Hoping everybody has a great day. One-Eyed Jack is in. How about a bold and surprising prediction for the 53-man roster? I told you Storm Duck made the team like a couple of weeks ago. Bold. Everybody still thinks Odell Beckham might go on the pup. Bold. I told you Aaron Brewer's playing in week 1. I don't know how much bold you want. Steven Gonzalez, Fernando Perez, A-Rod, Tua time. There we go. Zion is shredded now. Fly Pelicans. Well, he can be shredded, but will his body hold up? You know what I'm saying? Skylar Tipton is in the house. Not Friday yet, sir. No. J-Town, Samuel Rosa, Gus 1388, James Roman in Tampico, Mexico. Lenny Peña loves his Taco Tuesdays. Jack Roldan. I'm doing well. Is it bad that my favorite logo is the one of the late 90s, early 2000s? Hey, anything but the whale. I don't have a problem with that. I like the different renditions of the logo, of the original logo, as long as it's the original logo. And I kind of understand if they wanted to make the dolphin a little meaner or whatever and all that kind of other stuff that they did. And they tweaked it a little bit. I was fine with that kind of stuff, but I'm not fine with the whale. So I'm good with that, Jack. Whichever one of the classic logos is your favorite, I'm all right with that. I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem with the whale. That's all. That's it. I've never complained about any of the other ones. Never. But the whale, unacceptable. I-O, so off I work to go. But first I gotta get the attitude of justice, puff and give. Well, no, hold on a second. You can't give anymore. We got that thing floating around again. COVID. Okay? And look out for monkeypox. Look out who you have sex with there, folks. Alex Palenzuela's in the house. He got his stuff, and thanks for the extra shirt. Look, if we're late, and something happened and there's a delay, I feel like it's, I make good. Most people will just send it to you late and say, hey, thank you for hanging in there. I thank you for hanging in there, and I give you a gift for hanging in there, okay? That's all. I'm an understanding type of dude. So, that's all. So sometimes if if I don't have it in stock and I got to wait for it, and I say, well, you know what? Give you a little present. And so that's kind of the way it goes. If I have it in stock, send it right away. Great. You get it right away. But if I had a little bit of a hook, a little bit of a delay, I feel I owe you something. And so that's just the way it goes. That's the way I feel, So I'm glad you got it. And so just in case, those of you that ordered and you got a little delayed, once you get the package, you're like, well, wow, thank you. You get a little bonus. So there you go. That's the idea, man. I mean, you guys take care of me. I'm going to take care of you. That's kind of the way it goes. You know what I'm saying? You support me. Obviously, I'm, going to return the love. That's the idea. There's plenty of people that come and go on the platform, and they don't really add anything to the platform. They don't really support the platform. They don't go visit Caneswear. They don't go to Acura Pembroke Pines or anything. They don't donate. They don't buy shirts. They're just here to be assholes, and we can see through those people. But those of you that I know really give a shit about the platform and me and Sean and our survival, obviously I'm gonna return the love, man. So, it's just me trying to decipher between what's what. Let's see what else. Super V, Stephen Harris, DJ Ozone, Frankie Fresco. Papa is in. Yes, sir. Canes week. We got Manny today. Tomorrow, by the way, we're going to have Kevin Brockway, who covers the Gators every day, and he's going to join us to talk a little Gators football on Wednesday. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the game, man. We got to see the Canes win this week. I mean, they have to win. They have to win. Like, it's not over for other big programs that if they lose a game, they can still make the playoffs because it's 12 teams now. I get all of that. But for the Canes, it's a whole different ball game. Mario Cristobal has to win us over. I mean, at least for me personally, he has to kind of win me on game day. If he loses this game, I have to go, damn, dude, I can't trust Mario. Because it's not talent. Like last year, you didn't win enough games, not because of your talent, because of your coaching staff. You guys failed. Your players weren't ready. You should have won more games. And you didn't. You failed. And so I don't want to hear, and everybody brags about the talent and the recruiting. That's fantastic. I need the guy on game day to get it done. So Saturday is huge for Mario Cristobal. Not the Canes, not Canes fans, not the history of the program, not the season. It's all about one guy. It's all about Mario Cristobal on Saturday. Yeah, that's really what it's all about. It's all about Mario. This season is about Mario Cristobal. He's the only Canes coach in history. Prepare yourself for this. He's the only Canes coach in history that can say, I have no excuse. Every other coach had an excuse. They didn't have the right program. They didn't have the money. They didn't have the facilities, all that kind of shit. They didn't have their own stadium, all of that. They still don't have their own stadium, but they have a great stadium. But they have everything else. They have a great NIL program that will spend any money that he needs. He could go get anything. He has updated facilities now. There's no excuse. He has a ginormous staff that nobody has ever had in this program. Mario Cristobal has zero excuses. Zero. He has to get it done. Because if he doesn't, he's the wrong guy. And I'll say I'm wrong. Because I'm a Mario guy. But I have to admit, game day, it's been scary. Big O, I'm interested in Brooks versus Wilson making the team. Brooks versus Wilson. I mean, we'll find out, dude. I don't know who's going to make it in the back end and all that kind of stuff. It just, you know, and you're talking, by the way, you're, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm looking at the roster right now. That's what I'm doing, by the way. I mean, it's just this. Let me tell you something. This is the most difficult cut down that they have had in a long time, because and they get a couple of breaks because of some of the injuries that will buy them a little space, but all of their defensive back decisions are brutal. They've got a couple of interesting linebacker decisions, you know, overall coming up, because Tyndall's kind of made it from the point that he was going to make somebody else's roster to now he might make your roster, because he had no chance on the practice squad. There was no way he was going to get cut, make it through the waiver wire, and they were going to put him on the practice squad. Somebody was going to pick him up. So now you've got to decide whether you keep him or you don't. The defensive backs, holy shit, dude. The defensive backs are a real problem too, because you've got to now decide with some of the young guys that you have on this roster. So to me, you know, this is one of those where it's going to be a mission to get down to, like, Wilson, I don't think makes the team. I've been telling you that for a couple of weeks. Now they've guaranteed 3/4 of his roster spot, of his salary. And I think they did that because he might have had an option somewhere else. And since they know the system and all that, and he's kind of an insurance policy. But to me, I'm going to keep Brooks over Wilson if I have to, because Brooks brings something that Wilson doesn't bring. And Wilson's not a good pass catcher. And to me, that's the deal breaker for me with Jeff Wilson. I think Jeff Wilson was kept and given a guarantee of his salary to kind of be an insurance policy, just in case you have injuries, but you don't. HN and Mostert and Jalen Wright are ready to go. So if they're ready to go and you're going to keep Ingold, I would keep Brooks. That's just me. Brooks has more upside. Brooks has more versatility to him. Brooks is a better receiver than he is. I'm sorry, Sean, were you going to say something? So that's kind of where I'm at. Go ahead.
No, I just want to let you know Barry Jackson has reported rookie defensive tackle Leonard Payne has been cut or waived.
Okay. Leonard Payne. So we're down to Robert Cooper, Mike Harley, Isaiah Mack, and Leonard Payne. And so the decisions with the youngins, that is going to be, not Maitre. Maitre, you hope can make it like I like him, but you cut him and you hope you can make him on the practice squad, not the 53. But the Isaiah Johnson kid, that's the one that you gotta, wow, you found something there, and I don't know if it makes it to the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? And you got to keep Storm Duck. I don't know. This is really, really tough. They are deep, dude. Deep. So we will find out. What else do we have here? Big O, I've seen a first few times in the 16 years. My goal is to post before Jamie in San Jose. There you go. Well, you did it, my brother. You did it. Let's see. Stash. Big O says stash. Paul in Connecticut is in the house. Big O, if we can stay healthy, we're going to the Super Bowl. Gregory, they got a shot, dude. If they stay healthy and McDaniel becomes a better coach on game days, not just Mario Cristobal, yeah, they got a shot. I'll tell you what I didn't like from McDaniel this past week. I thought he played Jalen Wright way too much. I told you guys that yesterday. Thought he played him way too much. I didn't need to see that much. I already know what I know from him. That's it. I'm done with Jalen Wright. I didn't need to wear his ass out in that game, to be quite honest, and risk injury. DJ Ozone, do you believe the O-line we have can actually overachieve? I really hope so. Too, in the offense, success depends on it. Yeah, man. Yeah, I do. It's just, injuries. Let's hope that they can stay somewhat healthy. More bold sauce, please. I don't think anybody gives you more bold than I do. So, and we do it all the time. So it's just one of those deals. Vic is up in Oakland, California. Thank you, Vic. Steven Gonzalez. Giovanni. Josh is in. Rock Bear is in the house in the UK. Manolo Rivera, I got that reference, Big O. Souvenirs, Voyage. There you go. And it's Voyage, not Voyage. Fins up. Drago, Horn Dog. Breezy 305, J-Town. This is a great damn platform. I like the no nonsense. That's how I roll too. Well, that's how we roll. Thank you. Alex Palenzuela, Stephen Harris, Big Johnson. Yeah, the Big Johnson is in. Glad to see you back in the AM. Now I can listen to you live at work again. I am Big Johnson. Jay Taco instead of Jay Gelfin. He is all about Taco Tuesday. That's what he's all about. Subscribe and hit it. Ty from the Bronx, thank you for the love on the super chat. Thank you, sir, for supporting the platform. That is very nice of you. Let's see. What else do we have? Negative to positive. Yater Castro, morning, Big O and Sean. The more I listen to Omar, the more I laugh, and I hate to say it, but Alan sounds like such a downer towards the team. But he says that it's just facts. No, Alan does a good job, dude. Omar does a good job, too. Omar just says some crazy shit. He'll come up with some crazy shit all the time that makes no sense. But it's great for this business.
Yeah, and Pupar has never really given Tua the credit, but that's all right. Once Tua completely turns the corner, then other people will have to then say, okay, well, yeah, maybe I was too critical or whatever it is, and it's one of those deals where he doesn't get the benefit of anything that goes on. He gets blamed for everything that goes on. And a lot of the shit that's gone on, it's not even his fault. But that's how it goes, man. Everybody sees it differently. Darius just wants to get healthy and win. JR, if the Canes would have gotten someone like Dion combined with the lure of the program itself, it would have been fire. I mean, JR, it can be fire right now. As long as we find out Mario is a great game day coach, then everything else is Mario's perfect in everything else, dude. He's fantastic everywhere else. But on game day, his conservative approach or bad decisions, those are things that have haunted him for a while, even at Oregon. So let's see what happens. But it could be, shit, people aren't happy with Dion over there, and he's just got there, dude. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm not right. I'm not even close to giving up on Mario or anything, but I am going to be brutally honest about it, like I am on this platform all the time. Love Mario, but I have to say there's one issue in his game. And he's got to fix it as a coach. I'm sorry. And he better get more aggressive offensively, and that's how you're going to win in football nowadays, pro or college. If you're not aggressive and you're going to go out there and play conservative, it's going to be really hard to win, unless you can cheat like Jim Harbaugh. Hype train is quiet in Western New York this year. Wonder why? Yeah, the Bills should take a couple of steps back. They shouldn't be that good. But whatever. We'll see. Stetson O in. One-Eyed Jack says, don't forget we still need a roster spot for Jarvis Landry. Yes. Yeah. No, and if they can if they need a defensive back, they can, always call on what's it called? What's the wife's name now? Oh God, now I forgot her name. Damn. Because I wanted to call him, her, Mr. whatever. God, what's her name now? I forgot. But anyway, if I can remember it, I'll say it. Nick Needham. Yeah, Nick Needham, I don't think makes the team because of all the young guys that they have. Yeah, I would say that. And remember, Patrick McMorris can play safety. And he's got some cover skills too. It's complicated for Nick Needham. It really is. I don't think he makes the team. Larry Shannon underachieved. Yes, sir, he did. Jimmy Johnson had him better than Randy Moss. Right, Mr. Grimes. Mr. Grimes or Mr. Miko. They could sign Mr. Miko anytime. Thank you for helping me out with that. Big O, is the season over already because the O-line has not been addressed? Well, that's what you think. You're the same guy that probably thought that Austin Jackson can't play anymore. Oh, I'm gonna lean to them. Last time I checked, it was one of the best offenses in the league. Quarterback had at least time to find people, not enough, but enough to at least survive. And your running game was all right. I blame more the coach than anything else. Can you get better on the O-line? Hell yeah. And maybe they are. I just got to wait and see. But I'm not ready to see. Too many of you are ready to complain about something that there's nothing to complain about yet. And that's because you're already programmed to be negative because that's all that's gone on for you in the last 25 years. But yet, all it gets is more and more positive. You're on the brink of making the playoffs 3 years in a row. Maybe the line does get better. But let's find out. Maybe the line is worse. I don't know. But I'm not going to start. Aaron Brewer might be a terrific center in this system. Liam Eichenberg might settle in at right guard now. They're going to leave him there now. He's going to get an opportunity. Left guard, okay, it's a little in flux because of Isaiah Wynn. And Robert Jones has actually had a decent camp. Robert Jones' pass protection is his issue. He's a road grader. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not ready to complain about something until you need to complain about it. You know, I'm just not going to do that. Brooks is cheaper, can do more, and is Ty in availability. Yeah. I'm going Brooks over Wilson. But, you know, that's me. The young DB decision is going to be tough. Oh, my God, it's brutal. Yes, today we remember and honor the life and legacy of Jason Jenkins, a leader, advocate, trailblazer, and friend. We miss you, Jason. Good job by you, Fins Rule. Yeah, I tweeted that out. I saw that. The Dolphins put it out. It's been 2 years. Jason Jenkins is one of the best human beings I have ever known in my life. Just a really good dude. He was making some inroads for our show that I know we won't make anymore because he's not there. And so we might have been able to do some stuff there on the property. But anyway, so because I was talking to them about doing some stuff during the week there, and Jason was going to help me and accommodate it, and then, you know, before he passed away. And I've known Jason for many, many years, and just, you know, we got a really rough world nowadays. And as I tweeted out this morning, we needed an army of Jason Jenkins, you know, and we lost a giant of a human being in Jason Jenkins. Anybody that really got to know him will tell you exactly the same thing. Nobody will ever say anything bad about Jason Jenkins because he is above and beyond, dude. And I know the Lord got a really good one from us, and way too early, man, because we needed him down here for a long time, and we need millions and millions of Jason Jenkins to straighten out this world. If we had a lot of Jason Jenkins in this world, the world might be perfect, actually. Put it that way. J Slim, should I buy more Bitcoin or wait for more of a dip? J Slim, don't stop buying Bitcoin. If you get it at 59, at 62, at 65, at 70, don't stop buying, dude. I don't look at the price. I just buy. When I have extra money, I buy. I don't look at the price. I'm not worried about the price right now. I'm worried about accumulating. Accumulate as much as you can. I'm not a financial advisor. All I'm telling you is you accumulate. Don't even worry. Think about this, Jason. As I've said, or J Slim, I'm sorry. As I've said to many people over the last couple of years. So you bought it at 60. You bought it at 65. You bought it at 57. You bought it at 70. When it's $700,000, are you getting into a pissing contest with your friend? Oh, I got it at 56.5. Well, I got it at 58. You know when you do that? The guy says he got it at 160. Oh, dude, I got it at 60. That's when the conversation is the conversation. But when it's at 500 and 700,000 and $1 million and $2 million, which it's going to get there. I know it's hard to understand that, but it's going to get there. And when it does, you're going to look back and Did you get it now instead of whether you got it at 55 or at 60 or 65 or 70? Who gives a shit? The idea is keep getting as much as you can and stack the sats as much as you can. Yes, sir.
Jason Maitre per Barry Jackson.
I figured that. Yeah. Jason will be the guy they try to sneak onto the practice squad, as I told you. So do not stop stacking at all. And it doesn't matter right now. We've been in this window for 5 months now. Okay? Rate cuts are coming in September. It's going to skyrocket. And you're not ever going to get this price again anyway. So don't ever try to time the market, the top or the bottom. You'll fail every single time pretty much. And anybody that tells you they know when the bottom is and when the top is, they're full of shit. They're all guessing like the rest of us. But really, honestly, unless you're just a short timer and you're buying Bitcoin to sell it in 2-3 months from now when it pumps, if that's all you're doing, then yeah, go ahead, time it if you want and play with it, but you'll be fun. Now, if you plan on keeping it long term for a few years, who gives a shit, bro? Buy it. Because I don't know when the bounce is coming, and when it does, it's over. And this dip, what it's done for all of us, it's given us an opportunity to lower our overall prices. That's the key. That's what you do. That's called investing. That's what you do. You don't fold. You don't sell when it goes down. If you believe in it, then you buy it at an even lower price to lower your overall average. So when it bounces, you make even more. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little Dolphins football with our Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with the one and only David Furones.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. There he is, the one and only David Furones. Don't forget Welton Rheaume. You're dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call my guys, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume, 954-966-4646. So you think you could handle a stunt plane trip on with Daniel Rheaume?
What's that? If I could handle what?
A stunt plane trip with Daniel Rheaume.
Ooh. Yeah. I do not know if I can handle that, but I'd be willing to find out.
I can set that shit up, right? Don't talk shit. I can set it up. I can put your ass in a stunt plane.
Okay. Yeah. If I'm guaranteed that I come out alive, then I am up for it.
He's a pro, dude. Are you kidding me? Does it for
I'm up
fun.
for the thrill, then. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to talk to Daniel and see if he'd give you a.
What did I just sign myself up for?
Okay. Well, I'm going to film it for sure because I got to see your ass throwing up all over the place. That's a lot of
make
fun.
sure you light that day.
Yes. So far, we've got Robert Cooper, Mike Harley, Isaiah Mack, Leonard Payne, and Jason Maitre. And I'm expecting Maitre, which I said already like 2 weeks ago, he made the practice squad. If he sneaks through waivers, I'm expecting that guy at least to be on the practice squad, right?
You said Maitre?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like all those undrafted corners stood out, but I mean, he was one of them that you saw plenty of plays made. So I mean, honestly, I liked what I saw from all those different body types. Isaiah Johnson, the bigger one, and Storm Duck obviously making several plays, and Maitre, pretty consistent throughout camp. Maybe a few hiccups, but aside from that, which is going to happen for any cornerback. I mean, even Jalen Ramsey got beat in training camp again, covering Jalen Waddle. So, but yeah, I mean, I really liked what I saw out of Jason Maitre. So I would not be surprised. I would, in fact, find it very likely that the Dolphins are trying to bring him back onto the practice squad.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Okay. Dolphins cut wide receiver Jaden Jenkins. Apparently, that's what Barry Jackson is reporting.
Yeah. I mean, Jenkins would be expected. He was only signed like last week or something. So if Harley couldn't make a spot over 3 weeks, then yeah, Jenkins without making a play, which Harley finally made a play in that final preseason game. That was a nice play action and rollout from Skylar Thompson. And I mean, Harley had seen some drops, had some opportunities, but it was good to see him, at least, the former Hurricane, make a play in the preseason.
I know Schwartz got banged up, but that's the guy that I would have thought that they would want to sneak onto the practice squad. Actually,
is Harley?
No, Schwartz.
Oh, Schwartz. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, a speedster for sure. World-class speed. And we know Mike McDaniel loves that. And he had him on the practice squad just last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
He's the one guy out of that group. I don't know if Harley would even make the practice squad, to be quite honest. But I do think that Schwartz would have been a candidate for practice squad. That's,
with his speed, given the precedent, and just unfortunate with his injury, but then also just unfortunate that you saw a lot of drops for him throughout camp. I remember going indoor for one final session of one of those practices, and Mike White delivered a ball over the middle. This was his chance to make a play, and then it just went right through Schwartz's hands above his head, and that was kind of the moment, man, just it's going to be even tougher for him now because. There were multiple times where a ball would come his way and he wouldn't come up with it. So I think some of these wide receivers, they get a little nervous. They get the nerves on them come camp when they know those few chances they get when they see the ball come their way. It's got to be they put so much emphasis on it, on those individual plays, and then maybe they're not relaxed and it doesn't go their way.
Yeah, I'm with you there. What do you think happens at the backup quarterback spot? With the cutting of Mike White, what's the next step for them?
Yeah, well, even Tua's answer yesterday indicated that he would like to bring him back. So maybe he would be the third on a practice squad type contract, and you save a lot of money already because you cut him, saved the $3.5 million. If he doesn't get picked up somewhere else, which if teams saw his preseason, it's not like someone else is going to be just clamoring to bring in Mike White off of what he showed this training camp. So it might be as simple as just bringing back Mike White as a third on the practice squad.
Yeah, neither guy is anything, dude. Neither is Skylar, bro. Please. I mean, it's just I think they did it to save money, and then they're gonna bring him back, and bring him back at a less number, and they figured out what they have there. They don't have any future in either guy, and they're going to have to draft one next year. They're going to have to try to develop another guy. The only guy that I thought of out there is Blaine Gabbert. And again, not because I'm a fan of Blaine Gabbert, but he has played in that system.
He was in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, he was in San Francisco. So he's played in that system. So he kind of knows it. And they know what they have already in Mike White and Skylar. So maybe try, Blaine Gabbert. And he's sitting out there. You're going to get him for the minimum also. So if Mike White and his agent get a little, picky and they want more or whatever, then they say, well, we'll go with Blaine Gabbert. That's just me. I'm just spitballing out there right now. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a veteran. For them to bring another young guy in with Skylar, I don't think that would be a smart move. I think you got to get a veteran. And the only other guy that if you don't bring Mike White back, I was thinking maybe Blaine Gabbert. That's it.
Yeah. And McDaniel left the door open when I asked him yesterday about potentially signing a quarterback a number two caliber type of quarterback. instead of just saying Skylar won the number 2 job and then now it's signed a 3. So Blaine Gabbert would make sense based on the experience in the system playing in San Francisco. I know a lot of people want to say Ryan Tannehill. That would be the fun Dolphins fan base storyline, but he's not really a fit in this style of offense. So I wouldn't see that happening, although that would be fun. But Blaine Gabbert, among the free agent quarterbacks that are available, probably makes the most sense. I'm trying to take a quick look at quarterbacks available, and then, I mean, he would be the one that stands out as having previous experience in the system, which is kind of a prerequisite. It's very valuable to have that going into this offense.
No, and you're on short notice. You don't have the offseason. You don't have training camp. You don't have the preseason. You don't have time to work on this. So Gabbert would be the one guy that I would think that, okay, maybe if they go off the beaten path and they say, well, let's bring a veteran in at least just in case, because it might be a little too much for Skylar. For me, I know Skylar had a nice little run there, but he was playing against the worst players possible in the 3rd preseason game, and he still threw an interception at the end of that little run. So it's like, I don't think you'll get enough consistency. Now let me give you the real bitch. Okay, so you already found out what's up with Maitrey. What the hell do you do with Storm Duck, Isaiah Johnson?
Yeah, I'm between them.
I want to keep both.
Yeah, you want to. I would consider Storm Duck make the first one up if they end up going deep enough into the cornerbacks.
You're keeping Storm. You're keeping.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, are you saying active roster or practice squad?
I don't think Isaiah makes it to the fucking practice squad.
Okay, you don't think Isaiah makes it even to the practice squad? Yeah.
No,
well,
I
would see him after Maitrey, right?
Yeah, I think if you see, the thing is, he's a big guy. It's like when we get to the Ezukama conversation at wide receiver, he has something that Maitrey doesn't have, that other guys that don't have. He has that physical, big size that he can maybe play with tight ends a little bit and even bigger receivers and all that kind of stuff. I just think that if you think his cover skills can get better, oh my God, you might find it. What is he, like 6'2", 6'3", or something like that?
6'3", yeah, 6'3", 205.
Jesus Christ, dude. Do you know how hard it is to find corners that size? It's almost impossible to find guys that can move like that. And so if you think his cover skills and his ball skills are going to get better because he has that in him, wow, I don't know if he can make it onto the practice squad. If they hide him on the practice squad, I don't know what's going on. Are there too many crack pipes hanging around the NFL? Because I really like that kid. That's a guy that like intrigues me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're saying someone else is going to snatch him up.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many other
Storm making it, and you think Isaiah is on the outside looking in?
Yeah, and then he might end up going somewhere else. But I mean, so is life when you really did hit on 3 undrafted quarterbacks here. I mean, we watched them throughout camp and felt all of them are pretty solid guys that could be fringe roster caliber type players, and none of them had awful training camps, which you would know it, you would see it right away if that were the case. So. Really, yeah. I mean, if there are teams out there that need a cornerback, they're watching the Dolphins with how many of those fringe caliber players that aren't going to make the roster, how many of those become available, and your roster watching them to see which scraps you can pick up. Because after your top 3, and then I mean, I know you have kind of like a void as far as just finding those. Really reliable coverage guys beyond them, but then it's just like a lot of those on the cusp bubble roster players that a lot of them could fit, and then someone will be willing to pick some of these guys up.
Yeah, by the way, the Patriots' chances of making the Super Bowl have just disappeared. They're releasing Bailey Zappi.
Oh, Oh, here it is. Yeah, from Jordan Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No Bailey Zappi. That's it. If you release Bailey, I don't know how they'll win. I just don't know how they'll get it done. What do you do at running back? Somebody asked me about this. I've said Wilson is gone. And I know they guaranteed 3/4 of his salary, but I think they did that more because they wanted an insurance policy during camp just in case they were, ravaged with injuries. Their top 3 guys, and I'm including Jalen Wright, are fine and they're ready to go. Although, by the way, caveat here, I disagreed with Mike McDaniel playing Jalen Wright that much this week. Absolutely disagreed with that. I didn't need to see that much Jalen Wright. But anyway, as I digress. My 4th guy, I'm going with Brooks because the versatility, he does more, and I don't trust Wilson as a pass catcher. I don't think he's a good pass catcher. I just don't like him in that sense. And so I don't think he brings the versatility and the upside that Chris Brooks brings. Now, you're going to take a cap hit because you guaranteed him some money, but it's not a big, huge hitter. It's minimal. Good for him because he gets some guaranteed money. But I think the better for the team is to go with Chris Brooks as my 4th guy. What are you doing?
Yeah, I go back and forth on this one. I like Jeff Wilson. I like what he tried to do, cutting down on his weight, slimming down in order to be better equipped for the outside zone. So I always think back, and I know Brooks has younger legs as the power runner between the two, so that would give him an edge potentially. And he has the versatility to back up Alec Ingold as a fullback if he ever gets hurt. But I do think back to a couple of things when it comes to Wilson. Is one, he wore an orange jersey at practice. Now, how many roster cuts are going to be a practice player of the day under Mike McDaniel's system? We know sometimes that's sort of like semantics, and maybe he's trying to prop him up for another team. Those are all possibilities, but I do think back to that. I think Mike trusts Jeff Wilson as a veteran who has been with him for so long. And the other, there's also the salary aspect to it. But there was one other thing I was going to say. But that's why I'm kind of just feeling like maybe Jeff Wilson can find. Oh, here's the other one: is that if they released Mike White and Jody Fortson a couple days earlier, and remember, these are guys who are vested veterans. They don't get waived. They're not subject to waivers, so they're allowed to go sign with another team as soon as they're cut. They get released instead of waived. Jeff Wilson would fall into that same category. I would think if they were cutting Jeff Wilson, they would give him the same couple extra days to sort of check out the market for himself, the same way they allowed Mike White and Jody Fortson. So that's one thing that still it has me saying he's not out of it. I think that might be a scenario where they do intend to keep him. So, but that's one of the bigger question marks is really that Jeff Wilson versus Chris Brooks for that 4th tailback spot. Assuming
Boy, no surprise here. Barry Jackson's got Neville Gallimore getting cut. Yeah. I thought he would make it.
I didn't feel so. He was one of my veteran cuts that I believe, just because we really just never saw anything from him and throughout camp. I mean, Isaiah Mack got cut, and I think Isaiah Mack made a lot more plays.
Yeah, I thought Isaiah was all right actually too. Yeah, I thought he did all right.
Right. So yeah, he was one guy that we never felt any presence from him. And I remember
in Dallas, I was convinced he would make it, bro. He was convinced he can play. He can play. He can be a rotational guy. I think he'll be there. And I guess Weaver likes versatility. And I don't know if you saw a lot of versatility from Neville Gallimore there. So who knows? Maybe he just felt he was just a straight inline guy, and I couldn't use him outside. And I don't know what it was, but obviously didn't think that Neville was worth it because they let him go. So
what I had heard out of Dallas when he was signed is basically he's a Jag, just another guy. At least for what he showed in Dallas. Yeah, he was a guy who had potential, 3rd round pick when he came out 4 years earlier. But just watching throughout camp, just never saw it, not even a flash.
he never really going to camp. I don't think I saw him.
Right.
Flash. I think there was one day where he had a decent day, but outside of that, I don't remember much. You're right about that. Yeah.
So I felt he actually would be one who would get cut.
Yeah,
with how many bodies they have there.
So let's have a little fun here. What did you think when Hal asked Tua about the St. Louis thing? And let's hear it, because Hal Habib asks Tua about why he thinks Flo, after being so critical of him, that in that first year that he had Fitz start the first few games, and in the fourth game he decided to start Tua against the Rams.
You mentioned in your comments to Dan how he was highly critical of you through that process, and yet there was, I think, somewhat of a surprise that he made the change when he did. Why do you think that change to bench Ryan and insert you happened if he was so down on you?
It's a great question. I'm not going to answer that truthfully right now, but I think I know why, but I won't speculate or give anyone any speculations on that. Whatever, you want to create to think that, but other than that, I think that'll just stay here with the organization.
Speculate, young man.
Yeah, Tua won't speculate, but I sure can. Yeah. Now, so this is the last year before I got onto the beat. I got onto the beat the next year, but I was watching from afar, covering the Canes, traveling during COVID, the 2020 season, Tua's rookie year. So, I do have a recollection of that season. So I remember, the Dolphins had gotten that surprise win against the San Francisco 49ers, who were just in the Super Bowl the year before. And then they beat the Jets at home, got back from 1-3 to 3-3, and then they were going into a bye, right? So I feel like it was, and they had some positive momentum going right at that point with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I feel like if I could speculate, it was a predetermined from the organization, from higher up over Brian Flores, that after the bye, you are starting Tua Tagovailoa. You see it differently. I wasn't covering the team then, but that's kind of what I felt it had to be.
It's a fucking sabotage. It's a fucking
that's right. I remember you telling me this. This theory before. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no theory. That son of a bitch was sabotaging Tua's career, and he said, "Oh, everybody's still clamoring for Tua. Let's put him right in there with Aaron Donald and Michael Brockers."
But was everyone clamoring for Tua at that point? At that point, I think I remember just watching the team. I wanted them to just go with Ryan Fitzpatrick for the year. Okay, we might have something here. Let him play it out. And then, bring in Tua when he's got a fresh full season, full training camp the next year.
Not only that, what I was saying then was, bro, keep Tua on the bench. Let him heal up. He's not even a year removed from the injury and the surgery.
That's the thing.
Leave him alone. Let Fitzpatrick play behind a bad offensive line and all that shit. And what do? You roll them out against the St. Louis Rams, against one of the nastiest fronts that there is in the NFL. That was a total sabotage, dude.
And he still won again. Yeah. No, there was a Andrew Van Ginkel touchdown. There was something. I mean, he fumbled on his first play, right? Yeah.
The team game. The team
game.
He, if I remember correctly, he threw a touchdown, no interception.
That's true. Correct? Yeah, he lost a fumble. Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, you got a terrible offensive line. You're running for your life. You're a rookie. They throw you in front of the Rams. Come on, bro. Come on, dude. I mean, really? That's how you're going to break the kid in? The Rams? You're a son of a bitch, bro. You're a son of a bitch is what you are.
Speaking of terrible offensive line, Tua learned quickly how to get the ball out fast because when I asked him yesterday, his confidence on the interior O-line, then he was saying, well, brother, I get the ball out fast either way. So he had to learn quickly how to do that, especially going into those situations early on.
What's your confidence level on the offensive line in front of you, specifically the interior of the line blocking for you?
Well, brother, I get the ball out fast, so I'm confident with anybody we got up there. I'll tell you that. I'm confident with anybody we get out there. So,
how do you read into that? Because I was going to talk about that. So you brought it up because there's something there that's super important, and I wanted to talk about it. But since you brought it up, I'll talk about it here. Go ahead. What do you read into that?
Yeah, that Tua has the understanding that it's going to be another season where he has to go getting the ball out quick. It's going to be about the timing in this offense. He's not going to have necessarily the time to go through a bunch of reads. Now, he went ahead and slimmed down, try to gain some mobility so that maybe he could extend some plays and all this, but he's operating with the understanding, that pass rush could very well come from up front on the interior and come right up into his grill. So he's going to be looking to get the ball out quick once again.
The only thing I would adjust about what you're saying is it's not another season. No, this is life in the NFL. And one of the things that while the world was panicking and many media members were, Tua needs to retire and concussions, I was the only one here that said, hey, let's go back to his 5 injuries. Go check it out. He held the ball in 3.85 to 5.1 seconds. Do you see what goes on? You hold the ball, you die in the NFL. That's what happens. You hold it for 4 or 5 seconds, you will die in the NFL. And what I read in those comments was, hey, man, I know what I got to do in this league. I got to get rid of the football, period. And it doesn't matter what line you have. Marino had Webb and Sims on the left side, and you weren't ever going to get any pressure on that side. He still got rid of it in 2 seconds. Marino didn't hang on to the ball. Montana didn't hang on to the ball. Tom Brady didn't hang on to the ball. Peyton Manning doesn't hang on to the ball. Drew Brees doesn't hang on to the ball. All these guys that can't move, they all figured it out real quick. Snap, plant the foot, and throw, bro. You can't go hanging around. What I think Tua did with losing the weight is for those moments that you've got to buy that half a second, quarter second that you need to manipulate the pocket a little bit. And you see it already. You saw it in practice. He has a little more agility. That's what it is. But I think what I love is that Tua has the understanding already of, I have to get rid of the football in this league. I need to make a decision and get rid of the football. So that's what he was saying. Like, I don't put a lot of pressure on my O-line. So I expect all these guys to be able to do the job because it's only for 2 seconds. So if it's 2 seconds, you should be able to do the job. And so he has confidence that his guys can do it for 2 seconds. Now, if he's confident about 4 seconds, now you're playing with fire.
Absolutely, yeah. And to a greater point, that speaks to the same thought process that the front office views the interior offensive line. That's why they're looking for these cheaper, more economical options instead of, all right, they drafted Robert Hunt. He turns out to be great. And then they're not going to go paying the 5-year, $100 million that the Carolina Panthers are willing to pay him. They say, all right, well, the same way we opened up left guard competition last year and found that Isaiah Wynn can get us a few games before he went down. And then we got the Robert Jones, Liam Eichenberg thing going, maybe a Lester Cotton if Eichenberg has to move to center because of Brewer's injury, all this. They say, all right, we don't have to spend that much on the interior of the offensive line. We know our system, we're going to be able to get the ball out quick, especially Tua. He understands as the point guard of this offense, the West Coast style of the passing game, that he's going to be getting the ball out quick. Then you don't really need to invest that much in the guard position when all you need is these guys to hold on to their blocks for, like you said, 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right. Anything surprising you're expecting today?
I don't know. I guess So we mentioned Wilson. Wilson could be one. He's on the bubble. Gallimore, a little. I felt like he would get cut. I feel like Marcus May should be on this roster, but I know Perk had him off on his 53 roster projection. What? Huh? He should be on the roster. Yeah, I believe so too. So that was a surprise to me when I saw him post that.
And where's Odell going to be? Starting or on PUP? What's going on?
What's going on? It's coming down to the wire here, right?
Yeah. So you have no you're going to stay on the fence? What's going to happen?
I'm going to say they go ahead and put him on. Maybe he doesn't come back for the first 2 games because that's a 5-day turnaround, but just get him incorporated those first couple of weeks, and then let's see if he can go for week 3 against Seattle, starting there.
You bought the FUD.
What?
You bought the FUD that he's going to PUP.
Say it again. I lost you for a second.
You bought the FUD that he's going to PUP. The FUD is
no. I mean, I think they'll make him available.
Oh, you say he's going to be available week 1? Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah. Now I don't know if because remember you put him on the PUP, then he's out for the first 4 weeks. I don't know if you want to get him in right away when you have 2 games in 5 days to start the season. The Sunday against Jacksonville and then the Thursday night against Buffalo. But maybe if after that, you get him to practice the first couple of weeks, but then after that, you can maybe get him by week 3 against Seattle. Then that would be a good situation. But I think there would be a reason why he wasn't with the Bradley Chubb, Isaiah Wynn, Cameron Good group, where on Monday they already knew they would start the season on PUP. I feel like there's a distinction there, in that Odell Beckham will indeed be available.
Of course, it's got to be available. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Keep up with all the cuts and everything going on with the Dolphins, and of course, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel there and support David and all the terrific writers there. David, thank you as always, my friend. We will catch up on Friday.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
You got it. Welton Rheaume, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage. We're in storm season, folks. And even if it's a busted pipe from a neighbor next door and the water damage came to your home, and before you call the insurance company, you call Welton Rheaume, they will crush those insurance companies for you. You'll never have to deal with the insurance company. All you're going to do is pick up a check. That's it. It's a pretty good deal. Call them 954-966-4646. Hour number 2, Manny Navaro, next.
This has been another session of the Welton Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rheaume can help. Welton Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slomin's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navaro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navaro.
All right. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling good, brother. Can't wait to get this show on the road this weekend. Go up to Gainesville and watch the Canes and Gators finally play. It feels like we've been talking about this game forever.
Yes. Do you? Is there like a food spot you hit? Let's talk about the important stuff. Like, is there a good restaurant?
It's not really. I'm going to be staying in St. Augustine, which is a little less than an hour away. So I'm going to be avoiding staying in. I get to avoid staying in actual Gainesville. Oh, I'm not going to be staying there. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you're going to be with the family, so you're smart. You just go out and hang out with the family in St. Augustine. I like that. That's a smart and probably a better selection of restaurants there too in St. Augustine.
Absolutely. Casa Navarro. Mom is still she's still fire on the stove there, as they like to say. So she
okay. Casa Navarro is even better. Yeah. Okay. Now you get home cooking. You can't beat that shit, boy. Home cooking is the best, man. So yeah. All right. I like that. It's Florida State fans right now, obviously they're disappointed with the loss, and like I said, take the points. Anyway, they're disappointed with the loss, but they can recover, right, from all of that. Even though I don't think they're going to be that good this year, I think they're going to take a couple steps back, but they can recover, right? Okay,
absolutely.
But if you're the Miami Hurricanes, there's no recovery for Mario Cristobal. You must win. It's like, yeah, sure, you can bounce back, but you cannot start the season with a loss. You cannot. If you're Mario Cristobal, you cannot start this season with a loss because it will just send a horrible message. And fans will then say, yeah, we haven't advanced. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different. Florida State lost 10 guys to the NFL draft, right? Including their starting quarterback, their 2 star receivers, their leading rusher. Like, you can go up and down the list and say they lost a lot of guys.
Plus, a lot of us, me included, are not big ukulele fans.
Right, exactly.
He just doesn't convince me, bro. He's, I'm not like the dude you had last year. That dude turned into a special player. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ukulele has never turned into that special player. So it's like you're going to bounce back and you're going to go with that guy. You know what I'm saying? I have more faith in Cam Ward than I do in ukulele.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We ranked the quarterback transfers over at The Athletic last week, and we had DJ Uyunglele 15th among the quarterbacks. We had Cam Ward second behind Dylan Gabriel. So, and that's based off of intel that Bruce Feldman, Sam Conn, and myself got from talking to over 50 people in college scouting departments. So
just watch Cam's ass play. Watch Cam's ass play and watch ukulele play. And
yes.
There's no difference. So for me, that's why Florida State, they don't convince me because of that. You know what I'm saying? Travis convinced the shit out of me. All that young man did was get better and better and better. Overall, I could only respect Travis, overall. But Miami, you're Mario. Nobody needs. I know the fan base needs a win. I know the players need the win. I know the program needs a win. I know the administration needs to win, but Mario's the one that really needs that win.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Florida's been so bad, right, under Billy Napier. I think if this was a different situation where Florida was a top tier program, right? If this was going into Alabama or Georgia or one of those places, it'd be a completely different. But because Billy Napier's had his own struggles, because they ended the season on a 5-game losing skid, because they had guys leave their program, get good players leave their program via the portal, it's an entirely different scenario. So I agree. I think there's a lot of pressure on Mario. Now, would people completely abandon the bandwagon? No, because I think if Miami goes in there and loses on a last-second field goal the way Florida State did, a lot of people would turn around and say, well, Florida still has an SEC roster. It's still a tough opening first week. But if they go out there and they get blown out and they just, really poop the bed, as we like to call it, right, and just look terrible, then yes, I think that it's an entirely different narrative. So, but I think Miami's going to win, bro. I just do. I think I think they're well. I think they're set up well to win this game. I think Florida's weaknesses are Miami's strengths in terms of just defensive line versus offensive line type stuff. And I think that what we're going to see on Saturday is a program that's finally ready to win.
Let's hope so, man, because the fan base needs it in a big time way. And the whole wind in the sails thing. You win this game, and then you say, okay, maybe we can start feeling good about ourselves and start feeling confident. You lose this game, it's not that you're quitting on the bandwagon, all that kind of stuff. If you're a Canes fan, you're a Canes fan, no matter what. But it's one of those where, oh, man, slump shoulders and depressed, and then you lack confidence moving forward. And that's to me, that's what this game is so pivotal in that sense, that it just carries a lot of momentum, positive or negative, because if you lose, then you've got to fight all the negativity of the past and of this past week. But if you win, you have a chance of, you're not even thinking of the past and you're thinking of a new future. It just right. Changes. The dynamics completely change with a win. So tomorrow, our friend Kevin Brockway will be joining us.
Cool.
Okay. And I will ask him, what is it that Florida will need to do in order to win this game? So I will ask you the same thing. What is our nightmare situation? How in the hell does Miami lose this game? What is it that Florida did that Miami failed? What is it? You tell me.
I think it's turnovers. I think it's protect the football. The same things that snake bit Miami last year, because they could run the football on a lot of people last year. They had a good offensive line. I think defensive line is supposed to be the strength of this Miami team this year. Florida's weakness is the right side of its offensive line. So to me, physically, if Miami just does the job that they're supposed to do, they should win this game. Right? It's just simple. It's a matter of, do you go out there and make mistakes? Do you do things that you shouldn't? I think the one area where Florida can beat Miami is the short passing game, their receivers breaking tackles, Miami secondary. There's a lot of guys that are being replaced there. You had Cam Kitchens and James Williams at left. You have a couple new cornerbacks that are going to be playing. So if you want to say there's a weakness for Miami, it's the secondary, and Florida's strength is probably receiver and its passing game. But Miami owns the edge in a lot of other areas head-to-head on paper. And so there really is no excuse. And to me, I think if we're talking about a Miami loss, it's because they probably gave Florida extra possessions and didn't score points in the red zone.
All right. Running back-wise, how is Fletcher?
Supposed to play. That's what Mario said yesterday on the radio. I think he's healthy. I think he had a good camp. Got to play some towards the end of the camp in terms of scrimmages and whatnot. And I think between him and Damian Martinez and Jordan Lyle, the freshman that they got from St. Thomas Aquinas, and A.J. Allen, I really like their running back room, man. They've got speed, power. They've got the full package there. And they've got an offensive line, at least a starting unit, that I got a lot of faith in. So I think there's no reason for this team not to be able to run the football against the Gators.
Oh, man, if they can run the football consistently, that'll make Cam's transition super easy, because what you don't want to see, when you start this season, you want to, believe it or not, you want to rely heavily on the offensive line, the running game, and maybe even on Cam's legs a little bit, because that's the strength of your team. We still don't know who's the stud at wide receiver? Who's going to step up? How many of them are going to step up? Tight ends, who's going to step up? So what you don't want is to get to Florida and all of a sudden you can't run the ball. And now you got to put the pressure on the passing game, which we kind of look at it as, at least right now, as the lesser of the two in the offense. But on the running side, man, I feel good about the O-line because they were already coming around last year. Should be better this year. You added the Martinez kid, and if Fletcher can come back, Fletcher's a flat-out freaking stud. And then Martinez supposedly is a stud. To me, the running game is the most important thing right now in order to really launch that passing game, in other words.
I agree, and I think that puts a lot of pressure. If you play ball control against Florida and you're able to just run the ball down the field, have a couple, 10, 12 play drives where you're winning the battle up front, that's going to put a lot of pressure on them, and they don't have a very explosive offense. Like Graham Mertz, you go back and you look at his air yards per throw. Yes, he completed 72%, but most of those completions were underneath 9 yards. He is an underneath thrower. Like I said, the right side of their offensive line is not very good. That's been the thing they've been worried about all camp. Miami's got 2 elite defensive pass rushers in my mind, guys that have proven it here, and Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, who supposedly has had the best camp of anybody on this defense. So I think it sets up well for Miami to come, especially with Montrell Johnson being hurt. I just think it sets up well for Miami to put pressure on the quarterback and to be disruptive of this Florida offense. Force them to have to do things maybe that they're not comfortable with. Because Florida just doesn't take a whole lot of deep shots. That's just not the way Graham Mertz is. Now, they've got receivers. The question is, can they get the ball to them down the field? So that's what we'll see.
All right, you got it. Somebody's asking, you know what, Ray, I wasn't planning on it, but I think I got to do it. I will do a post-game show for the Canes in Florida. So, yeah, we'll be on Saturday. We'll do it. We'll go for it. Why not? That should be a lot of fun. Miami is favored by 2.5. The over and under is 54. Money line minus 135 for Miami, Florida plus 114. I'm thinking of laying the points, bro. I think Miami can win by a field goal here.
Yeah, I think they win by double digits.
Oh, wow.
I think Miami wins by 2 scores. I think and it'll come in the fourth quarter because it'll be a game in the fourth quarter still. But I think Miami wins this by 10 to 14 points.
Okay. All right. What do you got going on in the Athletics so folks can check you out, my friend?
Ton of stuff, brother. I feel like I'm constantly working now. Hope-O-Meter comes out tomorrow, where we chart the fan feelings going into the season nationally to see who's overconfident, who's depressed at this point before the season. There's a lot of other so many different stories. I mean, there's a ton of stuff to read there now as is. I just came out with a new podcast this morning, the Wide Right podcast. People can check that out, where Carlos Ledo and I break down the game. So there's a ton of content for you to digest at The Athletic.
Follow him on Twitter, Manny_Navaro, and catch his work there at The Athletic. Manny, thank you, my friend. Have a great week. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right, brother. Take care.
Got it. There you go. The great Manny Navaro. Well, now I'm thinking maybe I'll bother Manny instead on Saturday, post-game. That's what I'll do. I'll do a post-game show, and we'll get Manny for the post-game instead of Friday. That's what we'll do. So we'll get Manny for a post-game. That's what we'll do. We'll have some fun. We'll bring Manny on for the Big Cheese NIL segment is what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll have Manny for the Big Cheese segment on Friday, and then the Caneswear segment we'll do it on. We'll do that one post game, and we'll have some fun with that. Let's see. Just tell me, Manny bet the house on the Canes. I bet with emotions. I accept it. I want to do it. Go Canes. 2.5 is not bad, man. I was looking at it. I'm going, man, 2.5 is not bad. Kind of like the Inter Miami Chicago match. Okay, I'm calling it now. Not that I do any good in betting here. Anyway, Inter Miami is visiting Chicago this weekend on Saturday, and Inter Miami is the better team than Chicago. Chicago is plus 160 on the money line. Inter's plus 130 on the money line. But here's what I like. Minus half a goal. I think they're going to win. So it's plus 125. What do you think about that, Sean? Inter Miami on the road in Chicago. You give up half a goal, you get plus 125. I know. I saw that and I'm like, bet it up, dude. I'm taking it right now. Like, wait a minute. I only have to give up half a goal. They're going to win. They're the better team. They just beat a better team in Cincinnati with 10 men. I'm going to give the half a go, and I'm going to get plus 125. Yeah, I like that. I don't know what I don't know what Vegas knows that I don't, but I like that. Yes, sir.
A couple more releases. Wide receiver Jaquan Burton.
I saw that.
Wide receiver Kyrick McGowan.
Yeah. Okay. That was expected. Okay. The FAU kid, Daquan Burton, and Kyrick McGowan. So far, we've got Robert Cooper, Mike Harley, Isaiah Mack, Leonard Payne, Jason Maitre, Jaden Janke, Neville Gallimore, Daquan Burton, and Kyrick McGowan. Neville Gallimore also could be brought back. That's the other option, too. Yes, sir.
And also there's a savior at offensive line that was released by the Saints. It's been said in the comment section as well. Jesse Davis is back on the market.
Let's bring him here to kill Tua. Let's see, what else do we have here? Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. That's Cash Big O Show. A gentleman was asking me for my handle, and I didn't get the Bitcoin, sir, but thank you. Thank you for your thoughts. I don't know if you've sent it yet or not, but I did not get the Bitcoin donation. But thank you if you were trying. Jack Roldan, yes. Jack, I did not get it. My Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. I did not get the Bitcoin, my friend. Sorry. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Big O, it still baffles me why people cannot understand the concept of the dollar cost average their investment. Yeah, because they're not really investors. They're just kind of starting now, and that's kind of what it is. And they don't get that. But Bryson says timing the market always beats timing the market. Timing the market always beats timing the market. Yes, that's exactly it, Bryson. That's exactly it. Let's see. Lofi, I think Tannehill is a possible fit. No, he's not. Donald Pump, we should have drafted Graham Barton from Duke in the first round. They needed a pass rusher that they think they got themselves a guy that fits what they do, bro. I mean, we'll see. And they got themselves a tackle, and I don't know. I'm not here to right now. That draft class looks pretty good. Jack from Pallet Town, keep Wilson. Wait until someone gets hurt, then use him as trade fodder. I don't think Wilson is that sexy, my friend. Okay. Tua is such a baby. Ooh, Flores was mean. No, mean is one thing. Sabotage is another, my brother. That's ignorant. Okay. When somebody's trying to sabotage your career because they didn't want you, because you lost your discussion in the draft room, because the personnel department wanted Tua and he wanted someone else. And because he didn't get what he wanted, he was then a dick with Tua from the get-go. And you don't constantly berate your players, and especially your first-round pick and your overall, and tell them every day that you're not worth it, you don't belong in this league, you suck at it. That's not how you do things, bro. That's not how you do things. There's a huge difference between tough coaching like Nick Saban or like his dad than what Flo did. And Donald, if I can't help you with that, bro, if you don't understand that, then you can't be helped, my man. So that's how it goes. You have no idea about Odell. What a diva. Greer sucks not addressing O-line. Okay. DJ Ozone. Donald, too. Okay. I'm not wasting my time anymore. Donald. As a Finns fan, I think we can all agree 1,000% Tua is. We're doing Tua Tannehill? What kind of stupid conversation is this? You know, are you putting Tanny in the same sentence as Tua? Come on, man. Well, what kind of stupid conversation is going on in the damn text line? Let's see. Nightmare situation for Miami is showing up to the swamp. If it was a great team, yes, but this Gator team ain't shit. So it's not really much of anything. They're not something you fear at this point. Since the day we got Mario, I've been saying Canes will be in the mix in 2025. How nice it would be if I'm a year late in that prediction. Hope so. A long-time financial advisor always tells me it's not about timing the market, it's about timing the market. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You just buy and hodl. That's all you do. That's all you do. When I bought Bitcoin at 16,000, I'm not concerned. Just held. Then held it at 26 and 28 and 30 and 35. And look where it's at. And what I buy now, I'll just keep holding because eventually it'll be at 90 and it'll be at 150 and it'll be at 200. You know, and then that I won't be buying those anymore because it's just two little slivers. But now you got to continue to buy as much as possible because these are the days of our lives. These are the best times right now. You know, when it's 600,000, you're going to regret and go, shit, dude, could have bought a bunch when it was at 20 and 30 and 50 and 60 and 70 and 80. And when it's at 600,000 or $1 million, you know, then to get a whole Bitcoin is impossible. That's why I've told you all out there for a while now, your goal, like me or anybody else, should be us average people, should be about 20 to 25% of a Bitcoin. But when it gets to several $100,000, you know how hard it's going to be to even get a quarter of a Bitcoin? But now it's not the hardest thing in the world to try to get a quarter of a Bitcoin. So work at it, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you do that's what I've been doing for the last few years, trying to just pile it on that way and get to that point. Set my daughter up, you know? Ethereum and some of the other altcoins, they're all mine. And the wife, of course. But the Bitcoin, that goes to the daughter. Anyway, let's see what I'll say. Thank you, Patrick Vecchio. I appreciate that. When I hear Vecchio, I just think of what's that movie with Wesley Snipes? Passenger 57. And then the guy that he works for, forgot the guy, and his name is Sal Del Vecchio. And so the Vecchio thing, Del Vecchio. I remember that in Passenger 57. What's your name when he's addressing the media? Sal Del Vecchio. Anyway. Let's see. No coaches should be setting their players up for failure like Flores did. No, that's disgusting, dude. That's evil what Flores was doing. You know how fucking evil that is? that you just are going out of your way to sabotage somebody's career just because you don't like them and you didn't want to pick them? You know, Flores is the guy that they sign you, they give you a 5-year contract guaranteed, and like wink, wink, we're kind of, clearing out the roster this year. All you got to do is play Josh Rosen and tank, and he refused to tank. And then he refused to take Tua. And then when the owners were convinced that they could get Brady and Sean Payton, he refused to meet with them. And also behind the scenes, he was going to the owner trying to take the power away in personnel from the personnel department. Like, this guy is a major dick at every level. So when whatever the name of that moron is that was complaining about, complaining about Flo and all soft. Oh, Flo was going after everything. He was backstabbing everybody. It's like, if you don't see that, I can't help you. If you're still trying to defend anything about Flo, quite frankly, you suck at really understanding people. In fact, I don't want to be around you and ever ask you anything about someone, because you will have no read on people whatsoever. Okay? You will be a terrible judge of character. Anybody that still tries to defend Flo, your judge of character absolutely sucks, dude. Okay? You're dumb, you're ignorant, you're a fool, and you can't even see what's going on. That's where we're at. Anybody that tries to defend Flo at this point. That guy was a saboteur, a professional saboteur. That guy was trying to wreck anything and everything that got in his way. And if you can't see that, it's not just a Tua thing, bro. And he had problems with other players too. Like, he was not Joe Philbin, Jeff Ireland, Brian Flores, Adam Gase, they're all the same shit, dude. They're all the same shit. Their people skills are horrible. And they dealt with it in different ways and whatever, and it was disturbing but none of them ever advanced anywhere else. And Flo ain't going to get anywhere. He's never going to be a head coach. The NFL has only kept him around just for the PR purposes of the lawsuit, because this now helps them with the incompetence part. That's why he can't get too much into it, because if he starts admitting what a fuck up he is, that doesn't help his lawsuit, because he uses it all about color. And sorry, folks, everything ain't about race. I know some of you weaklings out there like to use everything about bias and race and whatever. No, it's not. Sometimes you're not good enough. Sometimes you're an asshole. Sometimes you get what you deserve. And that's what Flo did. He got what he deserves. In fact, he's actually got more than he deserves, because he shouldn't even be in the league. Big O, I got to tip my hat to you. Hate Miami traffic. I live in the Gables, South Miami. You head to Pembroke Pines and Toyota of Hollywood. That traffic has to be hell. Salute. Yeah, you're used to it, bro. I've lived here over half a century. It's whatever. I'm used to driving. It's not a big deal. Big O, these idiots believe Tannehill can do. Oh, yeah. It's if you do that, like, you don't know quarterbacks. That's all. Pretty simple. If you think Tannehill fits anywhere here, you do not know quarterbacks at all. Scam likely. Don't you love those? Flo thought he could get the respect that Belichick. They all do the same shit, Andy. All of them. That's why they all fail. All the Belichick disciples all fail. DJ Ozones, you don't try to destroy anyone as a person or their career. Flo is screwed. He ain't winning that lawsuit. Of course not. Because it has nothing to do with color. It's like, wait a minute. It's a black GM with an assistant black GM with another assistant black GM with a black quarterback and now a black head coach. You know, yeah. Color must be a real issue with the Miami Dolphins. Minorities must be a real issue with Miami Dolphins. The head of media relations, female. I mean, just walk all over that organization. It looks exactly like America. Exactly like America. There's Hispanics, there's blacks of all kinds, by the way. Since, you know, Hispanics of all kinds, by the way. There's Asians, there's white people, there's all kinds of folks. Interesting. Females, males, in all kinds of positions, power positions. It's interesting. That's the last organization that I would use as racism or bias or anything like, you know, hate to say it because he's no longer here. The Huizenga days, you can question that shit. That was legitimate back in those days. That was legitimate. Huizenga's organizations did not reflect America. Stephen Ross, come on, dude. I mean, you know, I deal with these people. They look exactly like our country. So he has nothing to stand on there. There is no racism, bias, or anything. They fired him because he's an asshole. Okay? That's it. It's pretty simple. There's nothing more, nothing less. The dude was not a good person. Even in the winning streak, you morons out there. While he was winning, and I was telling you he was going to get fired, it was like, okay, he's winning the shitty games. Even that season that some of you idiots out there were trying to defend. Well, but how do you fire him with the winning streak? Well, did you catch the losing streak in the beginning of the year? Because that's where all the good teams were. Proving once again we're stuck in the middle. We can beat the shitty teams, can't beat the good teams. That isn't like what this year that just passed or what. This has been for 40 years for the Dolphins. Flores is a bad dude, and he got what he deserves. Okay? So, yes, sir.
Linebacker Curtis Bolton, latest release.
He actually had a nice camp. There are players that are being released that you're like, okay, Jason Maitre was not bad, dude. You know? You're like, okay, Curtis Bolton, that dude wasn't bad. Isaiah Mack, that dude wasn't bad. Like, there's 3 guys there that I'm looking at right away on the releases, and I'm like, these guys weren't bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the tough things about the Dolphins this year in cutting down, that they're going to release a couple players going to latch on somewhere else. Go get whatever quarterback who gets cut by the Browns. Let's see. You nailed that. Race had 0. Of course, dude. Please. You can't say it about Stephen Ross's organization. There's not an ounce of bias in that stinking organization, bro. Just like Mickey Harrison's organization. Same thing. I don't really know all the people in the Marlins. Panthers are also very diverse. But I can tell you that, yeah, that's not an issue, man. Definitely not an issue with the Dolphins. It's ridiculous. That's why he has zero case. Zero. Frankie says, I thought the racism suit was for the other teams that did not want to hire him because he was black. Yeah. But it's all bullshit. They probably didn't want to hire him because they got word that he is an asshole. Like all the other assholes that come out of the Belichick tree. Josh McDaniel, an asshole. Strong, an asshole. What was the other one? Not Romeo Crennel. He's a very nice man. He just wasn't a good head coach. But there's one more guy that I'm missing. That was another one that fell off that tree. Who? Oh, Matt Patricia. Another asshole. They're all assholes. Every one of them. None of them have people skills. As I've said this for years. Okay? Notice, and now you don't have to deal with it anymore if you're the Patriots. But notice, every week, let me ask you something, Sean. Is it only Mike McDaniel speaking to the media every week? Is that the only coach that speaks? Everybody else does too, right? Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams, right? They all speak. Sometimes they'll give you the linebackers coach and all that, right? Belichick doesn't give you any of that. So you're a young coach. You come in, you're trying to learn how to become a coach, and you're growing up, and you're learning from Belichick, all that. But guess what you never get experience of? You never get the experience of dealing with people. Because it's only one voice. That's it. And then all of a sudden, you've never been in front of the media, and now you're a head coach, and now you're in front of the media every day. Oh, shit. We got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. And Belichick, in the process of developing his coaches, hurt his coaches because he never gave them the access to the world. He kept them inside a bunker, coaching and doing what he wants them to do, but they really never take the complete lead because it's always him running everything. And then when you have to run everything, oh my God, you've never handled everything. Now you've got to learn on the fly. Failure, 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 failure. They all fail. They all fail. A good head coach exposes his assistant coaches to the media. They need to get better. A good head coach encourages them to take interviews. All of those kind of things. That's what a good head coach does because you're trying to develop them as complete coaches. And Belichick failed miserably in developing them as complete coaches. He would teach them the X's and O's part, but he did not teach them the rest of the stuff. And by the way, he also had his own issues with communication. As time went on and he got older, he became more disconnected from the players that he coached. And so you see the results weren't there because he was losing touch. And he failed all his assistant coaches. And that's why none of them have people skills. Because they're all kept in a bunker the entire time. Anyway. Being an incompetent asshole is colorblind. Being a jerk to everyone will not earn everyone's respect. There were a lot of key players that didn't respect flow like X. It's East just it isn't just Tua. Yeah, no, it wasn't just Tua. So there were several other players. I know several other players that had issues with him. Dolphins Priest. I think Judas is looking more like Flores or Jimmy Johnson, who's more in his doghouse. Yeah, they're both in my doghouse. That's for damn sure. Yeah, Joe Judge is another one. Exactly. Dolphins look like America. Is that why they haven't won a playoff game since 2001? Yep, exactly. Belichick groomed them to be like introverts, and that's why they never got better. Yep. Big O, I know I'm late, but did you talk about Brady defending Flores? No, I didn't hear it. Don't really give a shit. Doesn't really. It's the same thing as people talking about Tua or whatever. Like, I don't really give a shit. I know what I know, and so I'm more confident in my opinion of Flores than Tom Brady, and I'm more confident in my opinion of Tua than most of the media. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that. I don't really care. I'm not going to react off of whatever. I know what Flores did here. Tom Brady doesn't know what Flores did here. I know what Flores did here. I was at the game in the end zone when we scored the winning TD against the Colts for our last playoff win, 4 rows away. I'm going to be there when we win one again this year. Loyalty. Damn right. And people wonder why Belichick isn't working again as a head coach. The league is moving away from that kind of coach. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Flo was just another example of you could take the Patriot out of New England, but you can't take the New England out of the Patriot. Wonder if Texans wide receiver Noah Brown is a good fit. I don't know. We shall see, my man. We shall see. The diverse teams you're mentioning are awful. LOL. What diverse teams? What are we talking about? Because I said Miami Heat and the Dolphins, right? And the Heat have championships. I don't know. Anyway, Walsh was awesome at developing coaches. Yes, he was. He got screwed and blackballed when he was an assistant, when he was a head. Well, remember, he was under Paul Brown. And Paul Brown was very controlling and very old school. And so he was under that. And when he got to San Francisco, he wasn't going to do that to Dennis Green and Mike Holmgren and Mariucci and, you know, all the other guys that came from his tree. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's you learn. You know, you learn. As a child, I moved around a couple of times and then also a divorce. So it forced me to go from one school to another that had no tie to the other. And I did that like 4 times in my life. So that means every time I had to get to know new kids. I had to start all over again. You know what I mean? I'm an outgoing person, so I'm fine. I'm not complaining about it. But, right, you want to do better for others, right? Just like Bill Walsh wanted to do better for others when he became a head coach. Well, when I got married, I promised to myself, and I even told my wife, I said, wherever we move, that's where we're staying for at least our kids' entire existence of schooling, because I am not doing what I had to do. You know what I mean? And so I want to make sure she went to the same, you know, nursery, elementary, junior high, and high school, or whatever, middle school, high school, whatever it is nowadays. And she did, exactly. The pre-kinder was tied to the elementary, to the middle school, to the high school. And that way she had the same kind of friends generally from year to year. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want her to experience what I did. So Bill Walsh did the same thing. And that's what you want. You want what's better for, you know, if you're a boss, say, okay, well, I remember when I was an employee, I didn't want that shit to happen to me. I'm not going to do that to people. And when I was a kid, well, it's not my parents' fault. Shit happens. Life happens. Whatever, you adjust. But now that it's my turn and I'm controlling the shit, right? I'm going to control it this way to make sure she has, you know, synergy in her schooling. And that was important to me. You know what I'm saying? So I commend Bill Walsh same way. It was important to him to develop coaches. And by the way, you start to think about it. Mariucci, great personality. Dennis Green, fantastic personality. Mike Holmgren had personality. He was, a tough guy too, but he was colorful as hell. Now think about it. Sam Weish, also from the Paul Brown tree, and Bill Walsh, another colorful guy. Some of those cats that came out of that era, pretty good personalities compared to the stiffs that Belichick continues to develop. So there you go. Frankie says, super chat. Well, thank you, Frankie. Let's check the super chat. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And Frankie, thank you, sir, for the Bitcoin. Thank you. He says for Canes, they're Gator bait this weekend. So Frankie is going with the Gators. And by the way, thank you, Frankie, because we're at 51,560. We have been going down here in the last 48 hours. It's been on a steady decline, which is just absolutely beautiful. So thank you for sending a little Bitcoin on a dip, my brother. That is very, very nice. No better way to make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation than on a dip. That is the best right there. Thank you, Frankie. I appreciate you immensely, my man. Let's see. Brady will defend Flores because exactly. Yeah. He doesn't know what went on here. Dude, the people that are mostly in town don't know what was going on behind the scenes. You all know that. Those of you that follow this show heavily, and were following it a couple years back, nobody knew what was going on behind the scenes. I was the only guy that was telling you that Flores was going roughshod throughout the building. I kept telling all my insiders that were on the platform at that time, go find out. Go check it out. Go check it out. He's running roughshod through the building. Nobody had it. No one. That's the thing. Look at the Odell Beckham thing. I'm the only guy telling you he's playing. He's playing. Week 1, he's playing. Apparently, somebody sent me a message yesterday on DM that I think Rose was talking about it. Because I heard him talk about it, and I saw him at training camp, and I said, he's playing. Don't worry about it. And apparently he talked about me yesterday or something. Somebody said, hey, they were talking about you yesterday, about Odell. So I'm the only guy telling you that Aaron Brewer's playing and Odell Beckham's playing. Nobody else is really telling you they're not. They're all guessing. I'm not guessing. I'm telling you they're playing. Unless some crazy-ass setback. But everything I hear, no setbacks. Everything's going just fine. So, Odell's playing, running like the wind. So, sometimes some people know some things and others don't. Let's see. Big O, the best coaches learn, adapt, and are open to change in order to improve. Please take note. McDaniel. Exactly. That's what Shula did. Shula adjusted all the time. He was a hard ass, but he adjusted to everything that he had. And if it required a different team, then that's what he did. That's what I loved about Shula. That's what I love about Flo. Spo. Got Flo in the mind. Spo adjusts to everything. He is so Shula. So Shula. It's amazing. He just doesn't have the jaw. But everything else about Spo is just like Shula. It's awesome. Let's see. Sam I am. Now that the NFL can put coaches in the Hall of Fame after being out a year, Belichick will celebrate as a god and everything else will be overlooked. Well, I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I have no problem with any of that. Let's see. Lenny Pena, you called the Big O. I was surprised when you said Cam Flo would get fired after the 2022 season, and he did. Yep, I said it during a winning streak, too. Come on, they're winning. They're on the winning streak. There's no way they're going to fire him, O. Okay. True Fin fan goes, nobody knew what was going on. Not even the ones that worked for the team. I remember it very clear. You were the only guy who knew. Yeah, there's a reason why. I know. That's all. I give you guys constantly the best inside info on the Dolphins. Constantly. Okay. All I know is that Flo kept messing with the fans every time they would ask for who's the QB. You could tell he really didn't want to say to. Of course, dude. You know, but the majority wins. Everybody wanted to see Tua, so he had to. Not at that point. They were actually in a positive at that moment. They were flowing at that moment. That you really shouldn't play Tua at that moment against the Rams. Yes, sir.
Barry Jackson, Ohio State rookie offensive guard Matthew Jones has been cut.
Okay.
Not a big name, just letting you know.
Yeah, no, but it's got to be. So we're at Robert Cooper, Mike Harley, Isaiah Mack, Leonard Payne, Jason Maitre, Jaden Janke, Neville Gallimore, Daquan Burton, Kyrick McGowan, Curtis Bolton, and Matthew Jones. And the three guys that are definitely, practice squad worthy, Isaiah Mack, Leonard Payne, Curtis Bolton. No, I'm sorry, Isaiah Mack, Jason Maitre, and Curtis Bolton. Those three guys and Neville Gallimore could end up on the practice squad. Okay? Those four guys right there. Maybe Mike Harley. If the Schwartz injury is, serious enough that could keep him out for the rest of the year. But if Schwartz can come back, then I could see him on the practice squad. That's the guy that I thought was going to transition to wide receiver over to practice squad was Schwartz, because he was all right. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't good enough to make the roster because the roster was deep. But he actually did a decent job, dude. On another note, Oasis is going to do it. Yes, we talked about it heavily yesterday, Drew. You can listen to it. We went into it on the back end of the show. Anthony says, Big O showing my sis for the first time Back to the Future, born in 92, doing Chick-fil-A night, 40 tendies and waffle fries. Big O, a little off topic. Name your top 3 music genres. I know heavy metal is one of them. Yeah, metal for sure. But see, so is hard rock something different then? So if I say Van Halen and I don't know, Sammy Hagar and stuff like that, AC/DC, because that's really hard rock. That's not really considered heavy metal. So is that another genre? So let's just go rock in general. So that way it doesn't matter if it's hair metal, doesn't matter if it's the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? So let's just go rock in general. For sure. Rock is number 1. Number 2. A really good one. I'm gonna have to go with dance, except EDM. but freestyle, disco, stuff like that, for sure. Love that genre. Electronic, craft work, dance-oriented stuff like that. I love. Not really big on EDM. Everything else, I like a little house. So I'll go that as my other genre. I mean, I do love jazz and blues. Wow. Oh, no, Spanish is not there. The only kind of Spanish I like is like Latin jazz, Cuban fusion, stuff like that. Jesus Alemani, Paquito de Rivera, Mario Bauza, stuff like that. That's what musicians. I'm not into the Braulio and Pimpinela and the pop music stuff. It does nothing for me. Spanish pop does nothing for me whatsoever. I don't know why, but I'll be insulting. I can't even take it serious. Like, yeah, Spanish pop is like, ugh. Like I want nothing to do with it. But definitely, like real musicians, that's different. That's a whole different ball. That's a different conversation. Let me see, man. I'm probably gonna go with, I'm probably gonna go old style rap as my third. Yeah, I'm gonna go from 90s back. I do like some of the stuff from the 2000s and on, but it's very spotty. Now everything 90s and 80s, I love, absolutely love. So I'll go rap as my third, but it has to be more classic rap than anything else. But rap will be my third. I love Nitzareb. Definitely. Where is the youth? Shout, go to shout. Shout, go to shout. Get me a little front 242 also. We're gonna have a little Nitzareb. Get murderous. Oh, if you had to pick one, eat a hot dog from Dairy Queen or hire Flores as a coach. No, I'm going to eat the hot dog. I'll deal with a couple of days of pain, but I don't want to deal with another year or 2 or 3 of Dolphin football being all screwed up. So no. Did Willie Snead? Yes. Willie Snead was he was placed on the IR. Willie Snead was incredibly unimpressive. Okay. Willie Snead lost it. Okay. I would not waste my time at all with Willie Snead, not even as a teacher, as a practice squad player. Why? Because if I have to spend a practice squad roster spot on you, that means I may need you one day. I don't think he can come through anymore. So Willie Snead was incredibly unimpressive. You couldn't be more, I couldn't be more unimpressed than I was with Willie Snead. Okay? So, True FinFest says, matter of fact, I'm almost sure your words were, no matter what happens, Flo will be gone after this season. Yep. That's right. You said this as Miami was in a 6 or so winning streak. Yep. Yes, I did. Chris Perkins from the Sun Sentinel said that the Mike McDaniel method is preferable, but the Brian Flores method produced better results. I already told him what he said, it wasn't better results, that he maximized the roster was his word. So I told Perk that I disagree with that. And I think he backed off that stuff after. He's kind of backed off that statement. Why? How do you maximize if you're not playing the best quarterback? That's checkmate right there. Go look at his record, Flows. Go look at his win-loss record. He had a losing record with all QBs except Tua. So that's what I told Perk. And by the way, Perk will be joining us on the post-game shows. I told them, you can't say he maximized it if you're not playing the best QB. That doesn't make sense. So you did a bad job as a coach. Didn't maximize it. Let's see. Classic freestyle Big O, you from the 305. Yes, sir. We haven't won a playoff game in 21 years. How do you determine success? That's it. That's it's winning season and winning in the playoffs. That's the next step for this franchise. Big O, what do you think about the Colts' Anthony Richardson? I think he'll be a failure in this league because he's not a passer. That's what I think. I think he's an athlete playing quarterback. Until I actually see him be a passer, then I'll believe it. But for now, I think he'll be another one of those athletic projects that will eventually fail. Let's see. 80 Dances, Stephen Harris, Gordon Shumway. Pat in Nashville, why do you got to do him dirty like that, Frankie? Oh, what did it? Oh, the super chat? Yeah. Well, hey, man. Frankie wants to get in that shot. What about the late Celia Cruz? I like her. I do enjoy Celia Cruz. There are some things like the danceable stuff. I do like the danceable stuff, but while I'm dancing. Because I am like Frank the Leatherman. Okay? You know, I like to dance. Okay? It's all about dancing. The rest is bullshit. Anybody know where Frank the Leatherman is? You wanted a disco reference, right? Which one of you wanted a disco reference? I gave you Frank the Leatherman. Come on. Most of you are like, what the hell is he talking about? Then there's a couple of you that picked up on it. Couple of you. Big O, is the Offspring's best album Smash? I don't know enough about. I know a few songs of the Offspring. I don't know their catalog, my brother. I'm not gonna opine on something I don't know anything about. So I know the band. I know a few songs of theirs, but I don't know their albums. So I would be an absolute liar to tell you that this album or that album is superior because I just don't know it. You know, so apologies, my friend. I'm sorry. I have no problem telling you when I don't know something. Some people have a problem with that, but I don't. Oscar says, I have to give you props and acknowledge that you're the YouTube master. Oh, Pat in Asheville, for sure. Yes, I hang around Pat. He is our YouTube encyclopedia. Yes, he knows it inside and out. Really, really good. How about Richardson for fantasy football? If he stays healthy, I get it because he can run. I understand, but he can't stay healthy. And if he runs, he's going to take hits. Make sure you have another quarterback. That you make sure, put it this way. Okay, here's my fantasy football advice for you. Okay, because I get that Anthony Richardson is the hype part of it all. If you draft Anthony Richardson, make sure you have another starting caliber quarterback on the roster. Because there's a good chance he's going to get injured. Okay? Agree. Rap that I can understand, like Sugar Hill, Run DMC, Eminem, and all that. Spanish old salsa, El Gran Combo. Right. Conjunto Universal. Mira la bolita como sube y como baja. Ay, como sube. Ay, como baja. You know, stuff like that. I like it. Dolores Mama, donde ven pa' acá. Dolorita. You know, that's what I'm talking about. You know, that, yeah, I could go with that stuff. I'm good with that. That kind of stuff I can do. You know, little Pedro Navaja. Not that that's dancing material, but, you know. Ruben Blades is always good with me. Yeah, there's some of that stuff. I guess it's stuff that I used to dance to in Los Quinces and stuff like that, you know. I could go with that kind of stuff. But if you're going to put on Braulio, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Okay? Yes, sir.
Jason Hines, cut.
Jason Hines.
Jason, Chasen. Jason Hines.
Oh, that's right, Jason. All right, the Hines man is gone. Let's see. Offspring's best album was the greatest hits album. LOL. You know what? I'm going with Finrule on that one. Okay, their greatest hits album is their best. For a guy that doesn't know much about their catalog, I don't know. I'm just going to go out on a limb that I think Finrule nailed it. Strong by you, Finrule. Strong. I'm a true sonero and what some call salsa fanatic. Then give me the 90s hip-hop, R&B, 95% I listen to, son and salsa. Okay. All right. Smash is the way you deal with your life. That's it. Smash it, baby. Smash it. Do you like Jose? No. That guy or the guy for the Marlins either. I don't like him also. Whenever somebody mentions disco, I immediately think of Disco Duck. My Vikings cut Myles Gaskin. I'm not surprised. He's a solid little player that can hang on at the back end of a roster. But once you get to a point that you have, you know, enough talent, he should not be on your roster. You know, that's, if you're still kind of building it up, I can see where he can hang on to the back end. But that's about it. Big O, I'm going to see Green Day and the Smashing Pumpkins tomorrow. Have you seen them? Yes. And both are phenomenal. Green Day is Armstrong just is one of the better frontmen out there. And they put on one hell of a show. Smashing Pumpkins, Billy still sounds great. The band sounds really, really good. That you're going to enjoy two exceptional bands. Okay? I will tell you, Green Day is the better band live. Smashing sounds great. You're going to enjoy the concert, all that. Green Day just brings a little more life to the performance. That's all. Billy's not a guy that's going to be, you know, excitable on stage. But if you love smashing music, you're gonna enjoy the hell out of the concert. Band sounds tight. Billy sounds great. You're good. But I'm telling you, Green Day, that's a fun show, man. It's a fun show. Really is. Big O, I listened to Tom Brady and his thoughts on tough coaching and the Tua Flores issue. I'm with Brady on this. At the time, Tua was not putting in the work. Troy, you know what I say? I say, you're a fucking idiot, bro. That's all. If you think Tua wasn't putting in the work or whatever, bro, the guy was telling him to go away. The week of the Ravens game, he didn't want to even give him reps. He's like, yeah, go home early, go play golf or whatever. And he came off the bench and saved the team's ass and won the game. And that was the moment where Flo realized, like, wow, I'm being really stupid here. I'm hurting my team by playing the worst quarterback. So, Troy Francis, my brother, if there's any part of you that believes that, you're fucking stupid, bro. And Tom Brady doesn't know dick about what went on here. In fact, most people in the media and most people around don't know dick about what went on here. You know what I love about this situation? Everybody all of a sudden became a Flo expert. Oh, no, yeah, we knew that he was treating Tua wrong. Oh, yeah, you all knew. Yeah, you all knew. Yeah, all of you knew. That was the other one that I got from this whole thing. Well, we all knew. Yeah, no, none of you knew anything. That was the other one I got. I forgot to mention that. I'm glad that Troy brought this up. That was the other thing that I got from this whole thing. I hear people on radio. I read in the paper or anything else. Oh, yeah, no, we knew that that relationship. No, you guys didn't know dick. You didn't know dick. Okay? Every one of these people that said that they knew during the winning streak all thought Flo was God. Not one media member was talking about Flo getting fired, except one. But that was my favorite line, national folks. Oh, yeah, well, we knew this up. No, you didn't know shit. You all didn't know shit. Including Tom Brady, Troy. Oh, we all knew. No, you didn't know shit. We all knew. I named my dog Dookie. I got that name from Green Day. That's awesome. Pat says, saw Pumpkins last year. Billy sounds better than 20 years ago. Technology has really helped weaker singers. Yeah, because he has that falsetto voice that he's constantly in. Big O, be careful. Easy with your blood pressure. Don't let font trigger you, my friend. No, what triggered me was all these people that acted all of a sudden like they knew about the relationship with Flo and Tua. That's the part that frosts my ass. Because anybody that watches this show knows none of them knew. Not one beat writer knew. Not one. No one knew on the beat. No one in the media nationally knew at all what was going on behind the scenes. Because I was the one that was called crazy and because every time we're done, oh, he's gone. We knew. Shit. Didn't know anything, dude. Give me a freaking break. You knew. Yeah, the not putting in the work, Tua was coming back. I mean, if you question Tua's work ethic, that alone, you're a fucking idiot. If you question anything about Tua's character, you're an idiot. That's the most professional person you'll ever have on your team. That guy is just, I have explained this over and over again. You want dedication? Okay, my ankle gets busted up. Let me put a titanium rod on it so it doesn't happen again. Who does that shit? Who comes back from a hip injury in 9 months or 10 months to get slammed by Michael Brockers? I mean, to ever question that he doesn't put in the work, How do you get to this level when you're not 6'5" and run like the wind and throw it through the stadium? Because you put in the work, dude. Because mentally, because your gifts put you at another level. Put in the work. It's like ridiculous, dude. It's insulting. And it makes you look like a stupid fan to say that he doesn't put in the work. Like, really, you really don't pay attention? Put in the work. Big O, is the backfield stacked? Yes, very stacked. Very excited. And let me tell you, Mostert, Achane, and Wright are awesome. I'm rooting for them to keep Brooks because I think he adds a little something and he's also dynamic. Jeff Wilson's not dynamic in any way, shape, or form. Nothing that he does is dynamic. It's all lunch pail. Solid football player, lunch pail. Mediocre pass catcher. So I love the backfield. Jalen Wright is, wow, he really looks the part. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. Henneke as a backup, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Did they release Taylor Henneke? I don't even know. Did he get released? Or are you assuming he's getting released? Because they're paying a lot of money for him. But I think you might be right. I think he was a third where he was at. So you might be right. Maybe they are going to release him. Or maybe they did release him. I just didn't realize it. But I'm not sure about Henneke in this system. I like him, but I don't know about this system. All right. What else do we have?
He has not been released. As of right now, he has not been released.
Okay. All right. Let's I want to talk a little bit about a couple things. One, Tua was asked yesterday about his offensive line. And I thought he had a really interesting point. Let's go over it here on and David Furones asked this question.
What's your confidence level on the offensive line in front of you, specifically the interior of the line blocking for you?
Well, brother, I get the ball out fast, so I'm confident with anybody we got up there. I'll tell you that. I'm confident with anybody we get out there. So,
couple things here. First of all, the simple part of it. He is already focused on what he has to do, which is get rid of the ball quickly. And he's basically telling you, hey, man, I don't hold it for 4 seconds. I'm not asking our offensive line to do something, extraordinary. I get rid of it in under 2.5 seconds. Our guys are more than qualified to hold up the line for 2.5 seconds. So I do my job. They can do theirs. That's it. It's not an insult or anything like that. It's a compliment. It's a compliment like, hey, man, I do my job. I get the ball out quickly. I help them. These guys can easily block for 2.5 seconds. That's basically what he's telling you. That's a simple part. I don't really care about that. That's he's supposed to say that kind of stuff. What I loved about this soundbite is this.
well, brother, I get the ball out fast, so.
That's it. Well, brother, I get the ball out fast. And again, let's go back to the flow thing. We go back to the concussion thing. And we had all these people, oh, my God, he needs to quit football. He needs to do this. He can't continue to play. He's got to really, his family, got to, all that kind of stuff. And I never wavered on it. I said, no, dude. And I broke it down for all you guys back then, remember? And his 5 injuries, the 2 ankle injuries with the titanium rods, the hip injury, and then the 2 concussions from that year. I know there's 3 because the Buffalo one, but we don't count it. Whatever. But I didn't time that one anyways. I don't know if that one falls under it. But because it wasn't called a concussion, I didn't, whatever, even though you and I know it probably was. But anyway, bottom line, those 5 major injuries of his, they all happened between 3.85 seconds and 5.1. For you newbies that are out there that weren't with us a few years back. And so I said, it's not about Tua survive. Tua can play for the next 15 years. He has to learn how to make a decision quickly and get rid of the football. He cannot play hero ball, hanging on to the ball for 4 or 5 seconds, waiting for somebody. When it's not there, you throw it away. Like I used to say in those days. Marino used to, pick a guy and let it fly. But if there wasn't a guy, he would let it fly also out of bounds. Just like Tom Brady, just like Peyton Manning, just like Bob Greasy, just like Drew Brees. He's no different than any of those guys. He's that guy that's not super mobile, so you're not going to depend on his legs. You need a block for him, and he'll make decisions, and he'll make the throws. That's what Tua will do, just like all those other guys. But those guys also did something beautiful. They got rid of the football. If the play wasn't there, they made a quick decision to get rid of it. They didn't hang on so they didn't take hits. And guess what he did last year? He didn't hang on to take hits. You know what he did last year? This is what he did last year.
Well, brother, I get the ball out fast.
That's it. And he got the ball out fast. And that's why he didn't suffer any injuries. That's why he didn't suffer any concussions. Because if you do that, there's a 99% chance that you will not suffer a concussion and you will not. Sure, you're going to get injured. You can get hurt. It's football. But if you're going to play this way and you're going to play smart, like Marino did for many years, and I used to hear some of my friends, damn it, Marino's throwing the ball away. No, dude, he's living for the next play. And that's what he did. And that's the part that I love about that soundbite. That tells me, because remember what I told you a couple months back, that when he lost the weight, I'm like, okay, all right, buy yourself a quarter second, half a second or something, get rid of the ball. But please don't go to hero ball now. Don't go try running all over the place. And by him saying this.
Well, brother, I get the ball out fast.
So by him saying that, that tells me he's still in that mindset of I got to get rid of the ball fast. And if he's going to do that, he's going to take care of his offensive line. And more importantly, he's going to take care of his body.
Well, brother, I get the ball out fast. So
I loved it. I loved every moment of it. And it just shows me that Tua understands how to stay away from injuries. Tua understands how to play in the NFL now. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. I thought it was a soundbite that got me excited because I know now that he's didn't lose the weight to try to play hero ball. No, he's going to still play that same mindset, but use the agility to your, hey, I've got a space that I can move to and buy myself that quarter, half a second so I can find somebody. Okay, I can do that. Marino used to do that all the time. He used to slide and buy himself just a little bit to get rid of that foot. All quarterbacks have to do that. You have to manipulate the pocket a little bit. And that's what I like, and that's what he's going to do with it. And that quote just got me that much more excited about it. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Let me see what we got here. I think my man Jason got a new one. All right. There we go. All right, we got a new billboard for the California appearance there, Sean. Let me send it to you. Oh, wait a minute. Damn it. So that is good. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. You got it, Sean. There you go. For our what is it? Our Southern California appearance. I think that's the one. Or is that Seattle? Wait a minute. I get it mixed up. Fernandine, by the way, I'm sorry. Fernandine, thank you. Fernandine Firmament. Thank you for the super chat. Big O, can Bailey Zappi be a better backup option now that he's been released? No. I would not want Bailey Zappi. Not the answer. No. I'm telling you, the guy I think might be Blaine Gabbert. Might be. Bobby McCain, by the way, being released by the Vikings. Former Dolphin. Okay. There you go. Former Dolphin getting the boot. All right, what else do we have here? Thank you, Fernandine. Ocala Joe, let's listen to the man who decided to open up his personal life to being roasted and then complain about it. Tom the Doc Brady. Yeah, that wasn't very smart. Big O, do you think McDaniel could call some QB design runs this year? I doubt it, but I mean, could it happen once or something because they see something? Yeah, I could see that. But I think when you catch Tua running, it'll be a moment that he's just taking advantage of open field and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it'll be necessarily designed. Okay. Brooks works on short yardage when we have big graders like Rob Hunt blocking. Not sure if the current line will be better on 4th and 1 situations. We just can't QB sneak. Yeah, no, it's I'm not big on the QB sneak anyways with Tua. I'd rather not. And if you had a big physical line, then yeah, maybe you can do some of that. Jonnu Smith should give our offense so many more options. Yeah, Jonnu Smith will be featured this year. Okay. It's my opinion that Tua hides a lot of the problems on our offensive line. Yes, he does. He does some of the stuff that Marino did for his offensive line, actually, in getting rid of the football. You are absolutely 1,000% right on that. No doubt about it. By the way, Jack Roldan, I am now feeling bad because apparently you might have sent Bitcoin to the wrong person. And that kind of sucks. I'm sorry if it went bad for you because I never got it. I know you said you sent it, but I never got it, my man, and I'm sorry about that. Here's the other thing that I wanted to talk about with before I talk to it, let me get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco and the great people at 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443. If you need some new uniforms, hats, or shirts, maybe you're going to have some kind of an outing and you need some shirts. School starts. Anybody out there, you're part of a school, you need anything for your school, please call 3A Graphics, custom printing and embroidery. They do amazing work, man. Alan Blanco, great stuff. This is his personal cell, so you get to talk to him, 786-618-1443. And really, you can deal with 3A Graphics anywhere in the country. You don't really have to go there personally. You can actually do all the stuff by email, and they can ship the stuff out to you and all that stuff. And he sends you pictures of all the material and all that. So you can actually do all that stuff. You don't really have to be there nowadays. But call the guys at 3A Graphics. Alan does excellent work. 786-618-1443. Saturday, UM visiting Florida. UM is favored by 2.5. The over and under is 54. Also Saturday night, it'll be Inter Miami visiting Chicago. And Inter Miami is plus 130 on the money line. Chicago plus 160. And Inter Miami If you give up half a goal, it's plus 125. I like that. WNBA action. Got to talk about my girl, baby. Yeah, Caitlin Clark getting it done. 84-79 over the Dream. They're 14-16. Since starting 1-8, the Fever is now 13-8. 1-8, 13-8. Yeah, it's kind of an improvement, I would say. They've got the 7th seed in the playoffs. Clark had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Kelsey Mitchell was just dropping dimes all over the place. She had 29 points last night. She was smoking hot last night for the Fever. That is, oh, wait, one more thing, one more note. No, 2 more notes. Dolphins have made cuts. Robert Cooper, Mike Harley, Isaiah Mack, Leonard Payne, Jason Maitre, Jaden Janke, Neville Gallimore, Daquan Burton, Kyrick McGowan, Curtis Bolton, Matthew Jones, and Chasen Hines. All were cut as they get down to 53. They've got to make 30 cuts here, so 30-plus cuts. So we are waiting to see who it is, but you got some of the cuts there. And one more thing. The Cowboys could be on the brink of a Super Bowl. Dalvin Cook is visiting them. And if they sign Dalvin Cook, you know, Sean, what happens when you sign Dalvin Cook? He puts you over the top. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Okay? Before I get to my Dolphin note here, let me go quickly through some music stuff. You know we like doing that. All right, let's start off with musicians born on this date. We go with Kim Petras from Unholy, the singer. She was born in 1992. Who else? Sarah Neufeld, violinist for the Grammy Award-winning indie rock band Arcade Fire. Maze, U.S. rapper, born in 1977. Mason Betha, worked with Puff, Blackstreet, Notorious B.I.G. Let's see who else. Tony Kanal, bassist for No Doubt. And their best album is Tragic Kingdom. That I know. Let's see. Glenn Matlock. Bum, bum, ba, dun, 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 da, da, da. No, not that Matlock. I'm sorry. Glenn Matlock is the bassist for the Rich Kids and also was an early member of the Sex Pistols. Was born in this date in 1956. Alex Lifeson, guitarist for Rush, born on this date in 1953. Kevin Cavanaugh with the Asbury Jukes, born in 1951. David Knight, percussionist for Gladys Knight, born in 1947. Tim Bogert, bass guitarist, and vocalist for Vanilla Fudge. And let's see. Daryl Dragon, musician and songwriter. Daryl Dragon, also a husband and wife duo from the Captain and Tennille band. So Daryl helped out Captain and Tennille. Chip Douglas was a songwriter, musician from the American rock band The Turtles, born in 1942. Those are some of the musicians born on this date. Let's go with some other famous people born on this date. Aaron Paul, TV actor, is 45. Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, born on this date in 1952. We lost him in 2023. Lyndon B. Johnson, U.S. President, born in 1908. On this date, we lost him in 73. Patrick Adams, actor, is 43 years old. Who else? Chandra Wilson, TV actress. She is 55. Mark Webber, race car driver, is 48. Tom Ford, fashion designer, is 63. Colt Ford, country singer, is 54. Caesar Million, the dog trainer. First time I call it dog trainer. He is 55, but he is the only dog trainer that I would know. Okay? That's kind of the way it goes. And that's it as for famous people born on this date. Sean, do we have any wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, Sergeant Slaughter turned 76. The Great Khali turns 52. And Jazz turns 51. Those are your birthdays for August 27th.
All right. Let's go with music history. Today in 1989, Guns N' Roses guitarist Izzy Stradlin was arrested in Phoenix after urinating on the floor of a plane, upset that he had to wait to use the bathroom. Hey, at least he didn't pee on a customer. Okay? I mean, you could be Gosder Cherylus, and you just could, walk up to a customer, somebody on a plane, and just pee on them. By the way, did you get to see that story, Sean, on the news? Because that story was amazing. The woman goes, yes, this gentleman walked up to me, and I thought he was just going to expose himself, and he just unloaded his entire bladder on me. So can you imagine that woman's just sitting there and a 6'7" former offensive lineman just whips out his tallywhacker and starts peeing on you? And she literally said he unloaded his entire bladder on me. What I want to know is, did he shake at the end? I mean, really, did you unload it and then did you do the shake at the end too? Here's a few more drops, sweetheart. Then she said, thank God I had a change of clothes. I went to the bathroom to change. My God. Change. I need a fucking shower, bro. Change. Anyways, in 1990, Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash following a gig in Wisconsin. He was only 35 years old. What a talent, man. What a super talent, Stevie Ray Vaughan. In 91, Pearl Jam released their hit album 10, which featured classics like Alive, Even Flow, and Jeremy's Calling. Yeah. In 2009, Oasis broke up after Noah Gallagher quit, saying he could no longer work with his brother Liam. The two have been fighting, barely spoke, and only saw each other on stage. That is what happened today in music history. And as I've mentioned a couple of times, okay, if you are planning to go to this Oasis reunion, go to the first few dates, because you don't know how long that tour is going to last. Those two assholes will fight him and screw up the tour within the first couple of dates. All right. Daryl didn't help out. He was a captain. He also backed up the Beach Boys for years. Big O, you scared of change? Are you talking to the guy that craftily got himself fired so he can start on a platform? Afraid of change? Just wondering. Let's see. Correct on Daryl Dragon. He is dead now, I believe. They own their careers to Neil Sedaka. Ooh. Bad blood. One of my friends got so drunk on a plane and peed on the person sitting next to him. He got arrested when they landed in Brazil. Paul in Connecticut. My friend has just passed away. R.I.P. Wait a minute. The Paul in Connecticut passed away? Are you serious? Like, you're not joking now. 80. You're not Paul in Connecticut. You're telling me that Paul in Connecticut passed away? The Paul in Connecticut, the Dolphin fan? No, wait a minute. Clear it up here. You said no. So you're not Paul. So are you literally saying that Paul in Connecticut passed away? Oh, man. Wow. Shit, dude. What a shame. Rest in peace, and my condolences to his family. Paul in Connecticut is a good dude. I think I met him once a long time ago. I think I was working at QAM. Might have been. Yeah.
Hold on a minute. I just want to make, because I'm reading AD Danza says, yes, I am Paul.
Oh,
no,
okay. Oh, no, his friend. Oh, okay. All right.
I'm making sure I know, because there was some dialogue in between, but I believe it says.
No, my friend. Okay, well, my condolences to you, Paul. I'm sorry. Wow, I thought it was you, dude. Holy shit. Like, wow. Like, I've been dealing with your ass for years, bro. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about your friend. You know? But yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Skylar says, Paul, you're trying to give him a heart attack. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know, Paul's one of those guys that actually gives a shit about the platform. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of those guys that really supports us, you know? So that kind of bothered me, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. It's all good, Paul. You're all good. I'm sorry for your loss, my friend. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm just happy you're here with us. Especially that this is going to be a championship year, so, you know. It's all. Whew, okay. Got me a little bit off my train there. Okay. All right. Let me get on track here and talk a little Dolphins. And one more thing that I wanted to mention about the Dolphins today, because it's another thing that was in Tua's press conference yesterday, and he has to answer what people ask him, right? And people asked about, started with the whole Le Batard thing when he asked about the comparisons of, you know, playing for Mike and for Flo and all that, and he talked about it. And then there was this very interesting question by Hal Habib. And if you go back and remember, and let me see if I can pull it up, that day of the Dolphins, they ended up starting Tua against the Rams. And at that point, the Dolphins were kind of like on a roll. Things were going well for the Dolphins at that moment. They were kind of winning in a way. It was pretty positive. There was really no reason to actually start Tua as a rookie at that moment. They ended up starting him, and it was against the Rams. And so Hal Habib did a great job of asking a question. And I know, listen, this is already a while back. We all should move on, which is true. We all should move on, right? But this is what they actually dealt with at that moment, right? And in that Rams game, let me see where it's at here. Make sure I got it right. And in that Rams game, okay, Tua did end up winning. So that was the good thing. But they had won 2 in a row. They had beaten San Francisco 43-17. Fitzpatrick had thrown for 350 yards. By the way, the aforementioned Myles Gaskin was your leading rusher at 57 yards. The following week, they beat the Jets. They blank them 24-0. Gaskin, again, leading rusher, 91 yards. So all of a sudden, you've won 2 in a row. You've won 3 of your last 4 games because you beat Jacksonville 31-13. Okay? You lost to Seattle 31-23. So you've won 3 of 4 games with Fitzpatrick at quarterback. All 6 games. He had so now you get a bye week, and the game to come back is the Rams. So I've set the scene now. Here is Hal Habib asking the question for the Palm Beach Post, asking Tua the question yesterday.
You mentioned in your comments to Dan how he was highly critical of you through that process. And yet there was, I think, somewhat of a surprise that he made the change when he did. Why do you think that change to bench Ryan and insert you happened if he was so down on you?
It's a great question. I'm not going to answer that truthfully right now, but I think I know why, but I won't speculate or give anyone any speculations on that. Whatever, you want to create to think that. But other than that, I think that'll just stay here with the organization.
Now, notice that he doesn't want to answer it truthfully right now. And if it was just as simple as, well, why are you trying to delve into this thing? And look, it was a bye week. Perfect time. You give the rookie an extra week to work. Yeah, dude, you're playing the Rams. You're playing the most vicious defensive line, and you have a terrible offensive line. And there's really no rush to put Tua out there at this moment. Now, here's the follow-up to this. Why do you think Tua says...
I'm not going to answer that truthfully.
Just tell me. Why do you think he doesn't want to answer it truthfully? Because he knows that Flo was setting him up to fail. That stretch, you had the Rams, then you go to Arizona. Not that Arizona's a great team. You still won, by the way, and that was the pass that was like one of his greatest passes ever in that Arizona game, when he throws it opposite of Patrick Peterson, anticipating it. It's just awesome. Anyway, then they play the Chargers, and they beat the Chargers, and they're 6-3. And then you go to Denver, and then you at the Jets. Then you're home against Cincinnati, and then you're Kansas City. Why do you think he did that? That's a brutal stretch of football, dude. Brutal stretch. You play Aaron Donald, and if you survive, then you got to go to the Rams. You got to go to Arizona. So you're going on the road. Then you're coming back home to take on the Chargers. Then you're going to Denver. Then you're going to the Jets. And then you're coming home against Cincinnati and home against Kansas City. And then home against New England, where you split the secondary on 4th and 7. He was sabotaging him, bro. He thought he was going to make him fail. And he went to win 3 in a row. He won 5 of 6 to start his career. He won 7 of 9 to start his career. So when you started Tua the rest of the way, You went 7-3. Without Tua, you were 3-3. Without Tua, you were 3-3 that year. With Tua, you were 7-3. So how can Chris Perkins say you maximize the roster? Oh my God. It's just, keep hating, keep doubting. Knock yourselves out, dude. Knock yourselves out. Can't maximize a roster when you aren't playing the better quarterback. But it was an exploding cigar on Flo because he thought he was going to make the kid fail. And, by the way, does anybody ever say that he went 7-3 his first season? Because 7-3 sounds like ass kicking. So I don't know. Just wondering, just throwing it out there. That's all. Any new cuts, young man? Is Chasen Hines the last guy? Chasson? What lasts longer, an Oasis concert, Antonio Brown life coaching services, the Plastic Ono tribute band? The Plastic Ono tribute band will last longer because they'll probably be just as ignorant as Yoko, thinking that she actually has talent. So they'll last longer. Let's see. Tua is a
Nick Needham. He gone.
Yeah, I figured that. Because of the young guys that they got, I figured Nick Needham was gone. Yeah. Yeah, good kid, man. Good kid, fought through it, had the Achilles, unfortunately. Yeah. Only us real fans know why he put him against the Rams defense in hopes Tua will get destroyed. I know it sounds like an exaggerated movie plot, but we all saw this. Yeah, he did it, bro. He did it. Big O, wasn't Chan Gailey opposed to Tua being brought in? Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. That's, by the way, Michael. Good memory. Good memory. Let's see. Big O, was that the game against Arizona? That was a shootout in Arizona. Yes, it was. Yeah. Remember that throw. Go back and look at that throw that he makes. Was it Parker? I think. And he sees Patrick coming, and he puts it opposite of Patrick. That's a throw in his rookie year, in his second game of existence. Let me explain something to you. That throw by Tua, that single throw there, 26 quarterbacks in the NFL can't make that throw. Okay? 26 out of 32 can't make that throw. Right now. Right now, can't make that throw. They don't have the anticipatory skills to do that. And some of them don't even have the ball placement skills either. No. Does not exist. When you see that throw, that's so major league that it's just like this guy sees shit that other people don't see. And this is just the thing that I think the thing that the haters don't understand, or the ignorant ones, or whatever you want to call them, what they don't understand about Tua or Breeze or Greasy or Marino or Brady or Manning or all these kind of guys, because they're all the same. They get to know the system more and more and more. They get to know the defensive coordinators that they're facing more and more and more. They get to know the defensive players that they're facing more and more and more. So this is Tua's third year in the same system, something he's never had. Okay? He is, and now it's his third year in the same division. It's his third year now in the same league. It's his third year starting now. This is like, what you don't understand is this is a guy that's just going to get better and better and better and better because his passing and what he sees, that game is just going to continue to get slower and slower and slower for him and easier for him. And remember what I told you a week and a half ago, Tua will have his best season ever. Why? Because they actually added the easy pass this year. He hasn't even had the easy pass the first 2 years. He's had the one of the most difficult offenses to throw in. Now all of a sudden he's going to have the tight end and the running backs and all that kind of stuff, and they're going to throw and they're going to feature those guys. That's going to make his life so. That's how you're supposed to start a quarterback. You're supposed to start it from inside out and build their confidence with, we've done it the opposite way with Tua. So now you're going to give him the easy stuff that he can throw blindfolded. It's just going to get better and better and better. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. All right. So there you go. What else do we have? Flores thought he would witness Tua falling in that Rams game. Yep, that's right. So he can justify to start the narrative to move on from Tua. That's exactly it, Super V. Rookies rarely have a winning record with a mediocre roster around them, and it was weird seeing Dolphin fans bashing Tua for having the rookie year he had. It's ignorant. But again, we live in a society now that you will not admit you're wrong. Instead, you will die on that sword, no matter what. It's the weirdest thing, dude. And that's what they're doing with the Tua thing. And they're going to die on that sword, dude. They are. They're not ever going to admit that they're wrong. I have rarely run into a person that says that, oh, no, I was wrong about Tua. It's rare. It's rare to find people who just say, no, I'm wrong. Big O, I made the 53, unfortunately, still trucking for the Arizona Cardinals. At least I have 3 rings. Don't think I'll get another one anytime soon. They don't look like they're close to it right now, no. But you know what? There might be a chance that this kid has grown up a little bit, and if that happens, he can pass. He can pass. It would be. He's a fun player to watch, man. I hope that maturity thing kicked off, because if he wants to put the work in, he's got a chance, man. He's got a chance, and he is fast enough that he can avoid the big hits. That was my problem with him coming into the league, was durability. And up until this past season, it wasn't an issue. Now, hopefully it doesn't become an issue from here on out, but man, he can pass the ball. If the kid figures it out and really dedicates himself, Kyler Murray could be a decent player in this league. My favorite Tua throw so far is that 11-yard bullet to Craycraft against the Bills here in Miami. Yeah, again, keyword is so far. Exactly. Yeah. Tua trains like a beast. That is why he gets better every season. It's anybody to question Tua's work ethic, commitment, professionalism. You're just a hater, bro. You're just being really ignorant. You cannot question that guy's professionalism. Listen, man, we want to have the discussion, the argument, whatever, that you don't think he can play and be an elite quarterback, then that's fine. And time will answer that. But his character, his work ethic, his dedication, determination,
There's no discussion there. Zero. Big O, you're comparing Tua to QB legends. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's already Greasy and he's already Marino and he's already Breeze. He has the same characteristics as those guys. Same exact characteristic. He's not athletic. He's not going to go run for 70 yards. He's not going to go break tackles because that's not what Tom Brady or Peyton Manning was going to do. That's not what Joe Montana is going to do. That's not what Dan Marino is going to do. These guys aren't going to do any of that stuff. You need to block for those guys, and they will pass you to heaven. Same thing with this guy. Same thing. If you block for him, he will find the open guys. And he's the same characteristics as all those guys. Will he get there? We'll see. But it's the same thing. No different. It's the problem we have is the people that want to compare him to Josh Allen. He's not Josh Allen. Just not Josh Allen. Just like Marino is not Josh Allen because he didn't have to be Josh Allen. He can win it all from the pocket. Drew Brees is not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. He can win from the pocket. Joe Montana, not Josh Allen, not Lamar Jackson. He can win from the pocket. Tua is that same kind of player. Tua's not going to win with his legs. He's not going to go out there and throw through the stadium and all that kind of. No. You block, he'll win from the pocket. That's my point. He's that kind of quarterback. Same kind of characteristics. If you block for him, you'll win. Pretty simple. That's the way I view the guy. We'll find out if he gets to that plateau because I think he's one of those guys. But time is the only one that answers that kind of shit. But you don't go 7-3 in your rookie year if you don't have something to you. You're not in the MVP race the last 2 years if there's not something to you. You don't come off the bench in Alabama to win the national championship if there's not something to you, you know? I mean, there's just too much coincidence constantly with this guy. And it's just because you physically don't see him imposing, so many of you have given up on him. And Drew Brees is not physically imposing either, and neither was Bob Greasy. And neither is Tom Brady, by the way. And Peyton Manning may have been imposing because he was tall, but not because he could outrun you or throw 80 yards downfield or anything like that. He didn't have a great arm. He had a decent arm, but he had this. And to me, that's where Tua will always kill you. But you got to help him. Like any of these other great quarterbacks. If you didn't, the moment you don't block for Tom Brady, does he beat you? No, he doesn't. That's all. Why? Because he has no mobility. And that's the same as all those other guys I talked about. All those great quarterbacks, when you pressured them that day, you had a chance to beat them. But if they were on their game and they blocked, it was over for you. So, there you go. Big O, would it be devastating if the Dolphins lose to the Cardinals? Yeah, not devastating, but it would totally suck. Well, it depends. Is that the only loss in the season? You know what I mean? Context, bro. You know? What are we talking about here? Yeah, any loss. There's only 17 of them. They're going to suck, but where are we in the loss? Is the Arizona loss put you at 500, under 500? Then yeah, dude. Yeah, it's really bad. But I forgot when it is in the schedule. Is the loss to Arizona, are you 5-1? Are you 8-2? Are you 11-2? Are you 12-4? Not a big deal. You see what I'm saying? Other conference, all that, not a big deal. Now, if it's part of a shitty season and you're mediocre, yeah, dude. Context is really what we need. My favorite, let's see. My favorite Tua moment is Baltimore game 2, escaping the pocket, avoiding the defender, and threw a TD pass to River Craycraft. Elite. The one guy that reminds me of the hate Tua gets, then excels, was Steve Young. Yeah, that's a very good one, Alf. It's a very good one. Very good one. Yeah. And to Steve Young's credit, he learned also that I got to stop running the ball. Bill Walsh kept telling him, I need you to stay in the pocket. That's how you're going to win. You know, I can't keep you healthy and running out there. You're not going to be able to finish games, and you could win from the pocket. And he kind of learned to also win from the pocket. That was really important to Steve Young's career. Steve Young was a crazy son of a bitch. Go watch his early days. He thought he was a running back. Nuts. But he did get a lot of hate. And that's also because he was following Montana. So a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, you're not Montana and all that kind of stuff. So it was not easy, man. To follow a legend is just absolutely brutal. We are the same age. Remember when music discussions would be about an entire album, not just a single track? Is this due to the digital access that bands can't do this anymore? Yeah, I think so. Plus, I don't know. I don't think it's the single stuff and the streaming stuff, and we grew up differently, Doug. We bought the album, and then we played the album. We didn't play one song and then lifted the needle and then went back to it over and over again. I mean, I'm sure some people did that, but a lot of us would listen to the album and then read the words and the credits and all that kind of stuff. And that does not exist anymore. It's just people don't have the patience for that. They don't have the attention span for that kind of stuff. And it's probably something that's not interesting to young people nowadays. So they don't care about the rest of the album. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's probably part of it, the way people are growing up nowadays. We grew up differently. And we probably went out of our way to get to know the entire album, whereas probably a lot of these kids are just listening to, the lead songs, unless it's their favorite artist or whatever. Maybe they're listening to the whole album. But yeah, it's just kind of different nowadays. And I know they're bringing back albums, but it was a thing. You took albums to school. You took albums to your friend's house. It was part of your conversations. It's different. You went to a party and people brought albums to the party. Remember that? And so sometimes you would, and you would all contribute to the music of the party and things like that. I mean, it was a social thing. And there was just more identity with it, It was just something that it was part of your being. When you bought the album and you wanted to know everything about the album and you wanted to open up the sleeve and read all that kind of stuff. It was just different, man. Different. And they don't have that nowadays. Let's see. Seeing Tua continuing to get better every year and not reach his ceiling yet is exciting yet scary at the same time. It's great for us, man. We haven't had a franchise quarterback in here forever. Big O, a little music and movie trivia. In the film The Big Lebowski, the dude can't stand what band? Oh, shit. I haven't watched that movie in a long time. Oh, man. Somebody's going to answer it. Somebody will get it now. I completely am brain farting on it now. Oh. You stumped me. It's the Eagles? Okay, I forgot. I haven't watched that movie in forever. I need to watch that movie again. Maybe remember some of the one-liners from it too. Dan Marino was so great, he considered the greatest pure passer and the GOAT by Montana, Favre, Aikman, Manning, and he never won a title. You know why? Everyone knows it wasn't his fault. Yeah, of course. Offensive line, running game, defense. Because really it was the left side of the line. The right side of the line wasn't anything special. Anyone who downplays the greatness of Marino, oh, yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. Big O's Simple Minds song, Alive and Kicking, the song of the 80s. Yes, it is. You could easily consider that the song of the 80s. Marino never had 4 Pro Bowlers, and at the same time, Stevenson was different era than Webb and Sims. No, Stevenson played the first couple of years with Marino, but then he was done. No, he never really had what he needed on defense, and especially in the running game. That's just kind of the way it went, unfortunately. All right, do we have any more cuts coming up? Dolphins cut running back Isaiah Johnson. Wow. That was one that I was wondering, do they keep him or do they let him go? He is super intriguing. They're going to put him on the practice squad if he gets through waivers. Okay? I think somebody's going to claim Isaiah Johnson. I don't think Nick Needham will get claimed, but I think Isaiah Johnson will get claimed. Wow. That was one. The problem is they're so loaded that it's hard to keep them all. I know Storm Duck made the team. I told you that 2 weeks ago. But Isaiah was one that, and I told you Jason Maitre 2 weeks ago made the practice squad. And if he clears waivers, he'll make the practice squad for sure. Not somebody. If somebody steals him, then that's why he doesn't make the practice squad. Wow. Isaiah. That is I'm going to send some messages to the folks in the building and say, how much did that one hurt? Because that one must have hurt. Because he's young. He's got a lot of potential, 6'3". If he can turn into a player, oh, my God, what a steal. What a steal. There's just a lot of potential with Isaiah Johnson. It's not like he's a finished product and for sure he's going to be a player or anything. But my Lord, the potential's there to be a player. And I hope for his sake he is, Sadly, not for our team. But, wow, that kid was impressive, I got to say. I knew Ethan Bonner would make it, and I figured Storm Duck would make it. So we'll see. 1,000 yards and 333 carries. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, yes. That's a trip. All right, folks, we're out of here. I appreciate all of you as always. Thank you. If you sent in a super chat, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Tomorrow we're going to be at Caneswear. Remember, you can go on Caneswear. And if you shop over $99, you will get free shipping. If you go in person, you can use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. By the way, online, besides the free shipping, if you use our code BIG010, you will also get 10% off also. So whether you go in person or online, you can get the 10% off. We'll be at Caneswear tomorrow, starting off at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Show starts at 11 a.m. Noon. Kevin Brockway is going to join us from the Gainesville Sun. So we'll talk a little Gators as we preview a little Hurricanes and Gators with him. And then we'll go over all of the cuts and everything that happened and who they kept, who they traded for, who they traded away, whatever happened today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Everybody out there, thank you for tuning in. Thanks to Sean Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Same bat channel.